Haven't paid your taxes in the past? Now's the time to call the Land Story Law Firm. The IRS has a published Taxpayer Bill of Rights, which says you have the right to retain legal representation. Because IRS problems are legal problems, and the Land Story Law Firm focuses specifically on addressing IRS issues for our clients. It's all we do. We get out in front of the IRS, devise the best resolution plan, and work to make sure you're able to take advantage of every program you're qualified to receive. So before you send money to some out-of-town, high-pressure company, call the Land Story Law Firm. We're local, located right here in St. Louis, or visit law.com to schedule your free consultation with your local tax resolution law firm, the Land Story Law Firm, 314-260-6120.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertising.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio, 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Reassurance from the White House. On Lisa Brady, Fox News.
The United States is committed to Israel's security.
President Biden a short time ago during an Oval Office meeting with Iraq's prime minister after Iran attacked Israel over the weekend.
As you know, Iran launched an unprecedented aerial attack against Israel, and we mounted an unprecedented military effort to defend Israel. And together with our partners, we defeated that attack.
Israel is considering a possible response. The U.S. has forces in Iraq as part of an anti-ISIS coalition. The Iraqi prime minister says the relationship is at an important juncture. Prosecutors in New York just asking the judge in former President Trump's hush money-related case to fine him $3,000 over social media posts about key witnesses. The former president has railed against a gag order and calls the case a sham and political persecution.
He is charged with falsifying business records by hiding $130,000 in payoff during the 2016 presidential race to porn star Stormy Daniels to keep quiet about their alleged affair that he denies. The money was reimbursed to longtime former Trump lawyer and fixer, convicted felon Michael Cohen, who will testify at this trial.
Fox's Eric Shawn at State Supreme Court in Manhattan, where pretrial arguments have so far delayed today's scheduled start of jury selection. A sad end to the search for two women from Kansas who went missing 2 weeks ago on a trip to Oklahoma to pick up children for a birthday party.
This has been challenging for everybody involved. This case did not end the way we had hoped.
Angela Spurlock, head of the Oklahoma State Bureau of Investigation, which says two bodies were recovered a day after 4 people were arrested on charges including murder and kidnapping. The car used by Veronica Butler and Jillian Kelly had been found abandoned on a rural highway the same day they were supposed to arrive in Oklahoma to pick up Butler's children, who are safe. America is listening to Fox News.
Moments like making my kids my famous meatballs mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that has spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Still feeling like summer, partly sunny, windy, and warm going through our Monday afternoon. We'll keep an eye out for a spot thunderstorm. 85 for the high. Tonight, cloudy skies, some scattered showers and thunderstorms around. 65. Tuesday, a mix of clouds and sunshine. Very windy day on Tuesday with scattered, possibly strong to severe thunderstorms on Tuesday with a high near 80. I'll keep you up to date on that. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Experience the beauty of custom-crafted windows that enhance your home's aesthetics and energy efficiency. Look no further than Infinity from Marvin, proudly brought to you by Lakeside Renovation and Design. Why choose Infinity? These windows are not just strong, they're 8 times stronger than vinyl, providing unmatched security for your home. Plus, with Lakeside's expert installation, you're guaranteed precision and perfection. Visit our showroom or call Lakeside Renovation and Design today. Elevate your home with Infinity from Marvin, where strength meets style.
Mike Carter here of Carter Law Offices. You know, as an attorney, I make my way across the great state of Missouri on a pretty regular basis. And from the rivers to the lakes and the Ozark Mountains, it's really just a pleasure to travel across the great state of Missouri. And, you know, not to mention, we have the best sports team and the best cities and the friendliest small towns in America, it seems like. And Carter Law Offices wants to make sure Missouri's story gets out far and wide about our excellent business climate, our exceptional workforce. You'll hear more from me soon, Mike Carter.
Visit MikeCarter.com to see Mike's interviews with all of Missouri's elected leaders.
Mike Carter here of Carter Law Offices. You know, as an attorney, I make my way across the great state of Missouri on a pretty regular basis. And from the rivers to the lakes and the Ozark Mountains and the richest farmland around, it's really just a pleasure to travel across the great state of Missouri. And, you know, not to mention, we have the best sports team and the best cities and the friendliest small towns in America, it seems like. And Carter Law Offices wants to make sure Missouri's story gets out far and wide about our excellent business climate, our exceptional workforce. You'll hear more from me soon, Mike Carter.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
When you have Rhino Shield on your house, it does a couple of things for you. It beautifies the house and it protects it from the harshest elements. And boy, do we see those here in the greater St. Louis area. You get instant curb appeal. It will stick to anything. Rhino Shield is the answer, no matter whether you're painting a home or a church or a business or a condo, because it's 100% waterproof. It takes care of the outdoor maintenance on whatever is on the outside of your home. The brick, the block, aluminum, steel, stucco. They can put this on with the 2 to 3 coat process. They're there about a week, and they do a great job. A lot of businesses have done it in the area. Several Firestones have done that. Vantage Credit Union over the years, Harlan Packaging down in DeSoto. Call Darren today and schedule your free estimate. 877-25-RHINO, easy to remember phone number, or go online today at 877-25rhino.com.
Don't let a cold, sinus infection, or allergies ruin your day. Breathe easier, sleep better, and feel healthier with Navage. Visit Navage.com, Walmart, Walgreens, CVS, or a store near you.
The Annie Fry Show YouTube live chat poll of the day is sponsored by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
This is an assault on America. Nothing like this has ever happened before. There's never been anything like it. Every legal scholar said this case is nonsense. It should never have been brought. It doesn't deserve anything like this. There is no case, and they've said it. People that don't necessarily follow or like Donald Trump said this is an outrage that this case was brought. This is political persecution. This is a persecution like never before. Nobody's ever seen anything like it. And again, it's a case that should have never been brought. It's an assault on America. And that's why I'm very proud to be here. This is an assault on our country. And it's a country that's failing. It's a country that's run by an incompetent man who's very much involved in this case. This is really an attack on a political opponent. That's all it is. So I'm very honored to be here. Thank you very much.
Donald Trump's message there saying he's very honored to be there after really assailing the whole point that he's there seems to me like a strategy. I think that his lawyers were like, talk about being honored to be a part of the justice system. Just say something out loud. So he says what he wants, and he's like, I'm honored to be here. Maybe he is. I think there are other things he'd rather be doing. Although politically speaking, anything he'd rather be doing right now is probably campaigning. And the truth of the matter, this is campaigning. And the very sad and sorry truth of the matter is that the Democrats set the battlefield. It seems a little ridiculous to think that Donald Trump would need to go out there and make a political statement while he's facing criminal charges. the ins and outs of this case that Donald Trump is facing right now, the Alvin Bragg, Manhattan, Hush Money, Stormy Daniels, Michael Cohen. I mean, if you turned on Judge Judy and saw this, you'd be like, oh gosh, you'd change the channel because it's ridiculous. The way that this has been contrived into the initial charge against Donald Trump, it's ridiculous. Mike Davis is going to be with us at 1:25, barring any other developments specifically in what's going on right now in that courtroom, because they are there and they've got a camera pointed at the courtroom. So if he were to walk out and say something else, we will bring that to you, of course. But we're going to listen to Mike Davis, and he's always got a very charged thought process on the matter. And we're going to listen to what he has to say at 1:25. Also, it's tax day. Did you get your taxes done? If you didn't, Brad, you should not be here.
Well, I did. But when I say I did, my wife did via our accountant. So
yes.
They're done.
They are done. I did them a while ago, and I had to check because the Fed return and the Missouri return, I got both of those and could verify that they had been accepted and so on and so forth. The Illinois one, no. Is that your experience as well?
Illinois is a huge pain in the rear to do taxes with.
You should have just left the to do taxes with.
Okay.
Illinois is a huge pain.
Huge pain in the rear.
Yeah,
you can add taxes to that list.
That we could make a new segment called that.
Ooh. Yes.
Illinois,
I think we
a
could.
huge PITA.
Yeah. So, I mean, and then the way, working in Missouri and having to pay taxes in Illinois and how all that works, it's just a huge PITA.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. Well, I'm still waiting on that one, but I was relentlessly, my husband and I have been going back and forth, because we had to mail those in for whatever particular reason. I saw somebody put up a meme, and it said, well, just filed my own taxes. I guess I'll be in jail by Friday.
yeah.
This is a real thing. If you if you don't have your own business, if you make a middle class wage and you got enough money to not have to worry, but you also have to pay attention to where your money goes to make sure you don't get yourself into a situation where you have to worry, which is where I think the most of us lie. If you go and file your own taxes, there is an element, and this should have been today's poll question. I don't know if it would have been a better poll question. We'll see how y'all respond to the one for today. But do you have even the tiniest element of fear when you file your taxes that you're doing something wrong?
Oh, every time.
Is that not the craziest thing in the world?
Right. The government's saying, hey, we're taking your money from you, and you better do it right, and you better give it to us right, or we're going to send you to jail.
Yeah, it just seems very, most people are well-meaning and intended, and there's absolutely nothing wrong. Ask Donald Trump and Mark Cuban about filing your taxes and paying what you owe, but making what you owe using every benefit to your advantage, every claim that you can make to your advantage so that you have to pay the least. It is your money first. It is not the government's money that they're not permitting you to keep some of it. They are taking from you what they have decided in Washington, D.C., in Jefferson City, Missouri, in Springfield, Illinois. They are taking what they are deciding that they are entitled to. And the crazy part of this is that you get to decide who you send to Jefferson City and Springfield, Illinois, and Washington, D.C. to make those decisions. Boy, do we not make that connection as often as we should. And I'm probably guilty party number one for not using my platform to be more of an advocate for sending people in to make laws and tax laws and tax takes where you have very questionable expenditures that come out of your pocket. I don't think that we talk about that enough. And it's tax day today, so I will bring it up. But to think that I think a lot of people will say April 15th, you usually have to work about this much of the year.
Yeah.
That's what you give the government. So everything that you have been taking in right now, we are 3.5 months into the year. January, February, March, half of April, 3.5 months into the year. If you're paying 30% taxes, and the truth is If you're paying income taxes, if you're paying property taxes, if you're paying sales taxes, if you're paying, other types of fees when you go to apply for things that the government says you have to have, and then you pay for them, whatever, you're probably the tax burden on you is more than you realize. That for every dollar that you've made in 2024 so far, that was for the government. Now you get to start paying yourself. It just seems a little ridiculous. I do understand the value of a collective pot of money that is going to go towards our national defense. Now I kind of question what we're doing with our national defense. I do understand a pot of money that goes to fix and maintain the roads so that we all get to, all over St. Louis and Illinois, all of the time, enjoy pothole-free roads, smooth sailing, the best, cleanest lanes that are always paved. I mean, we put our money together to pay for those roads that we drive on. They take that money, but you get what you pay for, crap.
Do we, though?
What are we spending the money on that means we have prioritized something else over the crappy roads that we have to drive on and the potholes that we have to swerve to avoid? These are all questions we should be asking ourselves. And while we have major political problems afoot nationally with Joe Biden at the helm and whoever is helping him run this administration, it's really important not to get, even though Brad and I are both wearing red today, into the red and the blue of it, only for the sake of winning in November. Because if you win in November, that's when the pressure starts. I distinctly remember in 2016, but more specifically January 2017, there was the honeymoon that happened after Donald Trump won. Do you remember? Okay, let's take this piece by piece. In 2020, Joe Biden won. And when Joe Biden won in 2020, Brad, how long did we go before we're like, no, it's really going to be Joe Biden? I mean, it was Christmas.
Yeah.
Because the Electoral College votes maybe a week or so before Christmas.
And there were all sorts of theories about, well, if this happens or this is up in question, they changed these laws without going through these proper channels and all these other things. And there was just a lot of questions surrounding it.
So it was not a rip the Band-Aid off situation. It was a slow burn to know Joe Biden's really going to be the president of the United States. And that was painful to go through. Mm-hmm. And a lot of you who are listening right now came back to the news after giving it a break for a while. Thank you for making 97.1 part of your routine. We missed you, and we're glad that you're back and helping the family that is 97.1 that absolutely includes you to continue growing in this incredibly important election year. This is not, I'm not even going to say this specifically about my show. I'm going to say this specifically about this station here in St. Louis. Because when you might be dipping into this show right now in your lunch, but you never miss Mark on your drive. I hear so many of you who say that let's say you're in sales and you're driving all over the place. You're a trucker and you never miss a minute of the show because you're in your car pretty much the whole time, noon to 3. Then there are other people who say, I used to be at home in the afternoons. Now I'm in the office and I don't get to work. I don't get to listen as much, but I never miss Mark on my way in and my way home. Whatever fits what you want more people to understand and hear, when you are trying to open people's minds to an alternative to the tunnel vision that they've had, maybe about specifically the Democrat Party. I don't really know anyone who's a super passionate Biden fan. I only hear people make excuses as to why he's better than Trump. But if there's any show, Brian Kilmeade included, on this station that is a way for you to say, oh, yeah, I heard such and such. I heard Brian Kilmeade talking to somebody about the Israel-Iran situation, and he made a really good point. When you turn people on to 97.1, they might come in here, they might disagree with everything we say. That's fine. But we need to start expanding where our conversations happen. And maybe it's not 97.1 for you. Maybe it's maybe it's a website that you go to for news. Maybe it's, a place where you go and you rely on the information or you enjoy the perspective. These are ways to open lines of communication for people to not just be about the red and blue about it. Because going back to 2016, which I was talking about just before, unlike 2020, when Donald Trump won that November late night, early morning. And he came out and he said, sorry to keep you waiting, complicated business. And then the next day, Hillary did not concede that night. Hillary came out the next day in the most mourning villain suit that I've ever seen her wear, black and purple. Was that her victory suit? Did she have a what if I lose suit? I've never really thought about that, but I'm kind of questioning it right now because it looked very mournful. Black, purple suit, and she's like, I'm not going to lie to you. This is really tough. This is really hard. I respect the fact that it was hard. It was hard for a lot of Americans, too. But I remember going through the next couple of months and remembering. And when I would remember, it would be like the first time I was hearing it for quite some time because I couldn't believe it. Donald Trump is going to be the president of the United States. What does this even mean? Like, I hadn't even thought past oh gosh, Hillary Clinton's going to be the president. I know exactly what that's going to look like. I really wish she would lose. But I never thought about what's it going to look like if Donald Trump won. And if I would have thought about it too terribly much, I wouldn't have known how to answer it. And how I would have answered it in that moment wouldn't have reflected what Donald Trump actually did when he came into office. Because when he came into office, he governed as a conservative. And he continued that passion for America first and making America great. We got to see that in action, which is what you get to apply to your vote in November, be it between Donald Trump and Joe Biden or to throw in a couple third parties elsewhere. When Donald Trump took the oath of office, there was, and I remember this distinctly because I didn't expect this to happen and I didn't initially know what to do with it. I had a little bit of fear about, oh my gosh, the country just gave the Republicans the keys to the car. Donald Trump is the driver. I have no idea what's about to happen. If we drive this thing off the road, that's it. They entrusted us. They took a risk on the Republican Party and Donald Trump because they couldn't stand the concept of Hillary Clinton as president. What happens if we all the pressure is now on us? All the eyes are now on us. Our policies, should Donald Trump actually govern like a conservative, our policies are going to be on trial for everyone to see. And if he blows this, we may never win another Republican presidency again. And then every day marching up to COVID. Do you remember what that was like? Do you remember the winning? And do you remember once COVID hit, the lying and the deceit that took place? I don't know what's going to happen if Donald Trump, who doesn't have to run for re-election, I don't know what that presidency is going to look like cover to cover, but I have a pretty good idea. And I see the world on fire right now with Joe Biden at the helm and a big question mark over who's calling the shots. Because if you don't know who's calling the shots, you don't know for sure what their interests are. You don't know why they're calling the shots that they're calling. They don't answer to you because you don't know who they are. But maybe Joe Biden is the guy in charge all the time. The guy who has to have handwritten cards provided to him by his staff, shown where to walk, when to walk, how to walk, and held when he walks. Maybe that guy is the guy who's in charge of everything. And in that case, we're screwed. We have to look forward to this election as the beginning, not the end. We don't win until we've shown what we can do after we have a victory in November. And it's going to have to be top of the ticket to the most bottom part of the ticket. People are going to have to open their eyes and see that the direction that we are heading in as a country is perilous and listless because we have no true north about what we are advocating for, what we are fighting for, and on tax day, what we are paying for. Where is your money going? Because if it's not going into your checking account, if it's been harder to pay for your groceries, if it's been harder to replace the refrigerator that breaks in your house, if you've had to go without when you shouldn't have because everything costs more and there's just not enough month left at the end of the paycheck, if you've had to experience all of these things, even if it's just as simple as what does your paycheck look like, today's a good day to look at the pay stub and see of the money that you make with lots of zeros or just a few zeros, how much of it isn't yours to keep? And there is somebody out there who is directly responsible for advocating for you. You have a representative. You have a senator in the state government, in your federal government. You have people on your county councils that are there to represent you and advocate for you, whether they are of the same party as you or not. Somebody wins election. They don't represent the Republicans in that district. They don't represent the Democrats in the district. They represent the people in the district, the constituents. So look at that bill today. Look at your tax bill, look at your pay stub, and then make some phone calls, send some emails, hold some people accountable. Because after all, if we, the people, push the influence that we should have on our representatives to make sure that they are truly representing, we will get a better advocacy in our state, local, federal governments. The YouTube live chat poll for today, now listen carefully as I say this. Has Joe Biden done anything that is a net good in his presidency? Yes or no? And the reason why I say net good is because I have said previously that I actually appreciate the fact that Joe Biden, through actions, has stood by Israel. But in my opinion, he washes that away when politically he mixes his words up so that there are some people in his party who feel like he's serving both masters. There is no way that you can serve both masters in the situation going on with Israel. It is one or the other. Joe Biden, which one are you for? Happy tax day? It is tax day. Get your taxes in. Take the rest of the day off if you haven't done that yet. We'll be right back. Don't go away.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
STS Armory in Pontoon Beach. This is where I go for firearms, for ammunition, for education, and for all of my referrals to the people who matter the most to me. In the state of Illinois, if you are shopping in this department, if you're looking to explore, educate yourself, or expand your Second Amendment access, you want to know STS Armory. Katie and Jesse Johnson at STS Armory are incredibly knowledgeable, but they also, as one of the things I appreciate about them the most, they know that they don't know everything, and they're always looking to learn more. So if you have a question, they probably got the answer for it. Something about a specific firearm, something about a specific law in the state of Illinois, or something about a specific kind of education. They have the answers for you. But if they don't have them, they're going to help you find the answers to it. These are the people who you walk in and you see them. Everybody knows your name there. You can trust them, and they will get you connected with the firearm, the ammunition, the safety devices, the education that you desire to make sure that you are a strong and smart and responsible gun owner and operator. They have classes for women only. They have kids and teen firearm safety and education courses. They have instructor level classes, advanced classes. And of course, if you're looking to get that conceal and carry permit, STS Armory is the place to go. And if the first thing you need to do is get a FOID card, they'll help you with that as well. 618-931-GUNS. 618-931-GUNS. Online at sts-armory.com.
Judge Mike Carter here to talk to you about my news talk program, Justice and Journalism with Judge Mike Carter. People ask, why is a judge a host of a news talk show? As a judge, I'm the neutral party that seeks to learn the truth and bring you the facts. Somewhere along the line, news shows lost that objectivity. Growing up, I can remember watching Walter Cronkite and knowing you could believe he didn't have a hidden agenda. Before I received my law degree and later became an elected judge for the past decade, I earned a master's degree in journalism at Mizzou, the very same journalism school Walter Cronkite attended. I was given a real appreciation for getting to the truth both as a judge and a journalist. Hence the name of my show, Justice and Journalism, with me, Judge Mike Carter. Here I focus on local newsmakers, personalities, and Missouri officials like Governor Parson, Lieutenant Governor Kehoe, Secretary of State Ashcroft, Attorney General Bailey, and many more. Justice and Journalism with me, Judge Mike Carter, airs on Fox and ABC. You can also watch our past shows at MikeCarter.com, where we ask the questions and let you be the judge.
If you'd like to see more of Judge Mike Carter's interviews on his program, Justice and Journalism, visit MikeCarter.com. PromotionalSoccer.com.
On Friday, April 19th, the Cardinals host the Milwaukee Brewers. That night, 25,000 fans ages 16 and older will leave with their very own bobblehead of the young and upcoming Cardinals star Jordan Walker. This collectible bobblehead is presented by Central Bank and is sure to be a must-have for your bobblehead collection. That's Friday, April 19th. The Cardinals, the Brewers, and the Jordan Walker bobblehead. For tickets or details, visit cardinals.com/promotions.
This is Jordan Walker, St. Louis Cardinals for the Lou.
There's the 8th strikeout for Lynn.
The Cardinals host the Brewers the weekend of April 19th through the 21st. Join us at the ballpark on Saturday, April 20th, when 25,000 fans 16 and older will take home their very own Cardinals full zip jacket courtesy of Mercy. This exclusive Navy jacket sports the STL logo on the chest and it has many elevated features. That's Saturday, April 20th. For tickets and more information, visit cardinals.com/promotions.
This is Lance Lynn, the St. Louis Cardinals for the Lou.
When you're approaching retirement, there are a lot of questions to answer. Do you have enough money to fund your income for life? How should you claim Social Security? And what's your plan for health care and long-term care? Hi, I'm Eric Robert, Director of Investments with the ClearPath Wealth Management Group at Stifel and host of On the Money Saturday mornings at 11 on 97.1 FM Talk. Don't leave your retirement to chance. It's crucial to understand and address relevant risks before you retire. Our team can help you get organized, guide you through critical retirement decisions, and create an investment portfolio designed around your needs. To schedule your free retirement plan consultation, go to clearpathinvesting.com. That's clearpathinvesting.com. Or call us at 636-695-2650. That's clearpathinvesting.com or 636-695-2650. Stifel Nicholas and Company Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. 9 out of 10 homes are under-insulated. Keep the air you're paying to heat where it should be with 15% off attic insulation. For a free estimate on attic insulation, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Aerosmith is coming back to St. Louis on October 14th, and we want to send you for free just by listening to us. It's Mark Reardon. Listen all this week for your chance to win tickets to the Aerosmith Peace Out Farewell Tour with the Black Crowes.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
All right. This is very funny. I've gotten these calls over and over and over again, and I just got a phone call right now. And I've never talked to them. I've only gotten the voicemails. And the voicemails are so funny that I saved them because I was going to play them for you guys. But I just got this call right now on the break. Apparently, there is a woman named Annie Fur, F-E-R. But I have been getting phone calls because somebody wants to turn my book into a movie.
Oh.
The book is called The Power of a Gypsy Love.
You should have gone along with it. Ryan would be incredibly jealous.
Why would I? Yeah, my book is going to be turned into a movie. And Brad was listening to me talk to these people. They're like, oh, so you're an author, but this isn't your book? I'm like, no. But I don't think that it is, like, I don't want to make fun of it too much because it's on Amazon. You can buy this book. It's The Power of a Gypsy Love, An Endless Search for a Lost Love. Published by Annie Fur. And somehow or another, they got my cell phone. This sounds to me like something where they want, we're going to call somebody who publishes small books, and we're going to tell them we want to turn your book into a movie. We need a small investment. I want to know what the investment is because this might be worth me to invest in depending on how much money it is, just to see how far we can go.
Follow it to the end.
Yeah. At the end, I'm just going to make sure that the power of a gypsy love ends with Donald Trump winning the presidency. I'm so glad I talked to him, though, because I have heard about this is how I know it's likely a scam, is that the times that they call me are not waking times in many cases. But I did tell the lady, you can kindly take me out of your database.
Like 5 times.
Yes. She's like, she just couldn't. Okay, so you are an author, but this isn't your book. No, none of the above. No, I don't do any of that.
All of this is incorrect.
Yeah. Everything, you need to take me out of your database. Okay, but do you have a book? I do not have a book. I have no books. I'm going to write one about this. And then you can call me back. I do kind of want to, because our names are so similar, like have a surge of people go buy this book and let me know how it is. It's not mine. I have nothing to do with it other than somebody. I feel like how these things happen is somehow or another my data got sold somewhere from somewhere. So you got my name and my phone number, probably have my address, probably have my social security number and everything. But you got my name and my phone number, and then you got a list of authors, and you just look for something to cross-hit. And Annie Fer, F-E-R, is close enough to Annie Fry that they're like, yeah, it's probably legit.
Sounds like her pen name.
The one person who called me the first time was like just going on and on about how amazing I was. Like, dude, you want this investment bad. Go on. It's bizarre. We're going to speak with Steve Moore at 105. I'm going to ask him about, since it is tax day, I'm going to ask him about specifically when the world looks like and feels like we're on the brink of a potential World War III. We're one decision away from it. And Iran and Israel are going back and forth. It's not just Israel and Hamas anymore. And a lot of people have their hands in telling. Everybody wants Israel to show a lot of restraint. The restraint that Israel would have to show to these people who are attacking Israel would just postpone the next time that these individuals and these groups could restructure and strengthen. And then what's going to stop them from October 7th again on a new date? We're going to run out of the ability to remember all of these specific dates when Israel is being tagged for being Israel. When we are, what is the debt right now? I sometimes forget. The trillions go up faster than national debt. It goes up faster than I can keep up with half the time. But if it's like $34 trillion, does that weaken us? Does that weaken the United States' ability to be in a defensive position, in an aggressive position, and in a supportive position, an allied position? Does the fact that we have debt that is owned by other countries put us in a perilous position? My assumption is yes. But does it also keep us from being able to grow our country and persevere in our country when we have that much debt? You know what it's like in your life when you have a lot of debt and when you've worked some of that debt off, when you've worked all of that debt off, you've gotten to the place where you can start savings. Even when you take out good debt, if you don't have any credit card debt, if you paid off your student loans, if Joe Biden blessed your student loans, if you are somebody who has gotten past that debt in your life and maybe you had a car that was paid off, you wreck your car, it stops working, it's totaled, whatever. You have to go get a new car. It's not a bad thing to take out a car loan. If you can get it at a good rate, it might be a sensible thing to do. You don't want to deplete your savings account to be able to get a car. You don't buy the most expensive car that's out there. You get what you need. You've got a payment you can manage. But that debt, the existence of that debt, you know it's there. It's always in the back of your mind, isn't it? Now imagine it's $34 trillion. That becomes problematic, right? It's always there. And when somebody else has that over you, it affects things. When we see the plans and policies, if you go back to the State of the Union, when Joe Biden was speaking at the State of the Union, he talked a lot about people paying their fair share. What percentage of Americans today are ultimately writing checks to the government And what percentage of people today get a handout from the government? There are people who get money back who don't pay in anything. Money back. I guess they just get money. We'll speak to Steve Moore about that just at the top of the clock, top of the hour at 1 o'clock, 1:05. Steve Moore, and then followed by Mike Davis. He's going to join us on video as well on our YouTube live chat. You can also, we're no longer streaming the show on Facebook. We took that off, but you can go each day. You got to vote. If you want to be a part of the poll results, you got to do that on our Annie Fry YouTube channel in the live chat portion, and we always encourage people to go there. We will read those comments on the air. When we put the poll up and you've got thoughts on it, of course, you can go vote. Voting is anonymous. We don't know who votes for what, so you don't ever have to worry about that. You just find the Annie Fry YouTube channel, and you'll see once you find that we're broadcasting live. You find that live chat portion where you can comment along or read the comments of the other people having a discussion and tell us why you voted the way you did, if you so choose, but you certainly don't have to. You can just vote there. But also, we've got posts up. We're going to do daily posts on our Facebook page that have the poll up there, so you can have conversation there as well. And again, we know that when we ask a question like, has Joe Biden done anything that is a net good in his presidency, yes or no? We're going to get people on all of our platforms who think, anything? He's done a lot that's good. And then they're going to list a bunch of things that they think is good, and you're going to go, those are not good things. Have a discussion. Be nice about it. Be kind about it. Be respectful about it. Disagree all you want. But open up that conversation, and on the YouTube Live, open up the chat and tell us what you think. A couple comments that we have here on the Annie Fry YouTube channel. Has Joe Biden done anything that is a net good in his presidency? Carlo said, I voted yes. He showed the world just how low establishment Democrats have regard for our country. Vicky says, no, not a zilch. Zilch. JB says, not one thing. He can whisper really well. It's not a good fit as a world leader. Is there anything more embarrassing than Joe Biden's foreign policy of don't?
Gosh, I can't think of anything. Well, I can think of more embarrassing things, but not as a foreign policy position. I mean, that's basically a humiliation on the world stage. If you think that you are strong enough to utter the words, one word, and deter somebody, then you bet that organization or that country or whoever you're trying to deter better not just go, I don't care what you say, I'm going to do it anyway. If Joe Biden looks at them and says, don't, it's like he thinks that his words or his attitude carries some sort of weight that it doesn't actually carry.
Do you know who understands this? Molly.
Yes.
If I say don't to Molly, she knows what happens if she does.
Right.
And if I say don't, and she chooses not to do the thing, don't touch the hot stove. Don't. She's going to learn her lesson if she chooses not to listen to me. Of course, I'm going to stop her from trying to do that. But if I have to stop her from doing it and she doesn't listen to me, she's going to understand that there's a timeout in her future. Which, by the way, parents, timeouts. Let's talk about this real quick. This is important. Make your timeout be a rug in front of the door, because everywhere you go usually has a rug in front of the door. Timeout is everywhere. You go to timeout, I'm just waiting for her to, just end up going and sit. We're going to go to someone's house, and she's going to get in trouble. She's going to go sit on the rug in front of the door. They'd be like, what's Molly doing over here? She must have done something wrong. If it's something as simple as, don't eat that candy or whatever, and I say don't, and she does, she's going to find out that she will wish that she listened to my don't. Mm-hmm. Joe Biden's don't doesn't mean anything.
There's no teeth to it.
It's actually worse that he says it out loud. It's actually worse. You know what it's like to watch the non-tough guy come out in tough guy?
Yeah. Yeah.
Secondhand embarrassment to watch that happen. And when he's saying that, he's saying it on behalf of us. Because remember, like I was saying earlier in the show, he is a representative of us, even if you didn't vote for him. And I have a feeling some of you didn't. I'm looking through comments here trying to find someone who says yes. Here's Ender. Actually, yes. It was something I talked about previously. I greatly appreciate the bill passed up cybersecurity standards for U.S. ports. Overall, Dems are much better on cyber than Republicans. Interesting, something to look into, and a bright spot. Guy said, I said no, which is why I can't figure out how his supporters believe he has. Well, that's kind of the thing that I am wanting to find out. I know that we are going to get some of his supporters who come on here and say that yes, he's done a lot that's good. And then if you're like me, you're going to be like, I don't think that those are good things, but you can still see what the other side values. And just because you don't value the same thing as the other side doesn't make it invaluable, unvaluable, disvaluable. What's the right word? I don't know. We should get Ryan Wiggins in here to tell us. Go vote. Tell us what you think. The Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll. If you leave your comment on the Annie Fry YouTube, you got a good chance of getting it read on the air. You can also comment on the poll that is up on our Annie Fry Show Facebook page. Make sure you like the page while you're there. When we come back, it's the Monday Roundup. Ryan Wiggins back in studio with us to give us some of the stories that we might have missed. We'll be right back.
We were caught up and lost in all of our vices. In your poses, the dust settled around us.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
Great clouds roll over the hills, bringing darkness from above. But if you close your eyes.
Air Comfort Service, aircomfortservice.com. First of all, go to the website if you have any questions about HVAC and how they can help you. They are more than just HVAC. They include insulation. They also will include things like an AeroSeal duct seal to make sure that the air that is coming in and out of your home, distributed throughout your house, that you're heating and you're cooling, that it's distributed evenly. I had that done at my house, and I'm really grateful that I did. And I want to talk to you business owners out there, office managers who might be facing an HVAC concern. This is something that I think people might be coming onto right now because we've had some hot weather, almost hit 90 degrees yesterday. Hello, St. Louis Springs. We missed you. When you get a repair quote or something from somebody and it seems like, gosh, that's pretty high. That seems unnecessary. Reach out to Air Comfort Service, 314-513-0091. Get a free second opinion. And tell them that Annie sent you to make sure that you secure that free second opinion. They're going to walk you through what the situation is, and they're going to give you every option that you have so that you know what your investment is going to get you. Maybe you're prepared to replace the whole thing, and you've just kind of been on borrowed time with the unit that you have in your place of business. And you know that it's probably time to replace the whole thing. Maybe you're not in a position. We were just talking before about there's not a lot of money laying around these days. And if you can repair it and get another few years out of it, you're going to try to do that. Get that free second opinion from Air Comfort Service and trust them to do right by you. They're good people. There are just tons and tons of reviews online that go alongside my personal experience as a customer. And you'll find that you can have them check out your situation, give you honest feedback, and do so with the kind of care and concern that you would want to be investing in. 314-513-0091, 314-513-0091, aircomfortservice.com.
You wouldn't trust a butcher to babysit your pet pig. You wouldn't trust a lumberjack to repair your antiques. Or a professional wrestler to be your massage therapist. So why would you trust anyone but AMCO to fix your car? For over 50 years, we've been the trusted experts in transmission repair.
AMCO offers easy payment plan options for most any credit situation, so you can fix it fast and pay it off slow at AMCO.
AAMCO.
More good news for Frederick Roofing, voted best roofing company by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, Frederick Roofing.
314-645-2000.
Hey, it's Tom Ackerman. Where do you go for your annual eye health examination? Ophthalmology Associates, of course. Doctors Greg Birdie and Ranjan Malhotra. Dr. Robert Bersati, he's the one I saw. Or Dr. Andrew Royer. They are available to you and are there to take care of all your vision needs at Ophthalmology Associates. They're on Manchester Road, a half mile west of 270. Your vision is their business at Ophthalmology Associates. In fact, many of their patients are doctors themselves. That's why they call themselves the doctors, Ophthalmology Associates. Are your eyes itchy and scratchy? It could be more than just allergies. They're the leaders in dry eye diagnosis and treatment. They're the leaders in LASIK and discussing those procedures. And if you're having difficulty reading or driving at night, you have glare from oncoming headlights, could be early signs of cataracts, and they can talk to you about multifocal lens implants. Ophthalmology Associates, youridoc.com.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than they're worth in real cash value. Ramp's corporate cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor, and Ramp's software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now, get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/free. Ramp.com/free. ramp.com/free.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
Annie was begging me to plug her new book, Gypsy Love, but I said I would not do that. We're going to talk about the YouTube live chat poll instead. Has Joe Biden done anything that is a net good in his presidency? Yes or no? Let us know, and of course, we'll give you the results at the end of the show. It is 12:49. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
For 20 years, the Patriot Training Foundation's been serving those who serve our nation. Don't miss the Patriot Training Foundation's second annual Michael Collins Memorial Freedom Blast, Friday, April 19th. Learn more at 971talk.com/care.
For all the times that you rain on my parade.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Instagram at the Annie Fry Show.
You think I'm crying on my own, well I ain't. And I didn't want to write a song, cause I didn't want anyone thinking I still care or don't. But you still hit my phone up, and baby I'll be moving on. And I think it should be something I don't want to hold back. Maybe you should know that my mama don't like you, and she likes everyone.
Wiggins! Oh! Monday Roundup! Yeah! This here's the wildest ride in the wilderness!
Yes, it is. This is the wildest ride in the wilderness, and it is everything that you missed over the weekend. If I don't cover it, then it didn't happen.
No Israel in this one.
Okay, fine. Once in a while, there is something that has happened that is not covered in this segment. But this kind of thing is definitely covered today. The infamous white Ford Bronco carrying O.J. Simpson in a low-speed chase across Los Angeles after the murders of his ex-wife and her friend may finally be up for sale.
Gross.
The 1993 SUV's three owners told a website called Clicked that they plan to cash in on the new interest. Yeah, gross. Following last week's death of the disgraced NFL great. They said before OJ passed, we had always thought that this was going to be the year we were going to sell anyway because it's the 30th anniversary, right?
Oh,
yeah,
naturally.
Luckily. But one of the owners said that who knows if we're all going to be around for the 35th anniversary or the 40th anniversary.
What a freak thing to do.
Isn't it?
I mean, he was running from law enforcement because of a double murder. It's disgusting.
Yeah.
I was looking to see if Ford Bronco had a Twitter account, an X account. I wonder if they've been laying low. It's got to be hard to be. I mean, Broncos. I really like the way the Ford Broncos look as a vehicle. I would be interested in one if it would fit my whole family. But you know, like OJ dies and Ford Bronco, they go out and they tweet a little 2 eyeballs looking to the side or something like that. They didn't. I'm looking for an account and I don't see one. Got to be hard for them to just be like, just stay away from your keyboard. Just don't go near it. Don't be tempted. Not going to do it.
Now, if you're wondering what they expect to sell it for, because right now apparently it sits in a museum, a crime museum in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. The last time they were given an offer, it was for $750,000 for that Bronco. They're hoping to double that now. $1.5 million.
That's inflation. That's
$1.5 million. Yeah, nothing's really happened. It's just that the dollar buys you less. So there you go. If you're interested in buying it, might be for sale this year. All right. Now this one, I had to get the pronunciation correct from our very own Ethan, who's filling in today. Boban Marjanovic is a man of the people. Brad, are you familiar with this story?
Maybe.
NBA player.
Why are you asking Brad?
Well, because he's a sports
NBA?
guy.
No.
Yeah, sports guy.
No.
Sexist?
Well, you're a sports girl. Are you familiar with this story?
Yes.
You are. The Houston Rockets center purposely gave
He's
fans
like 10 feet tall.
he's 7'4". He's a big dude. Gave fans at Crypto.com Arena, a rare yet iconic parting gift in their season-ending win over the Los Angeles Clippers on Sunday afternoon. He gave them free chicken. So Marjanovic intentionally missed a pair of free throws in the fourth quarter.
Ethan, come here. Go on.
Ethan, come on in. And this is a promotion from Chick-fil-A that if a visiting player misses 2 consecutive free throws in the fourth quarter of a game, this is what happens.
Be some free chicken on the board if he misses the second free throw.
Oh, man, free chicken on the board.
Yeah, so that's why the fans are getting a little frothy.
Oh, they're pointing to Ethan. Bobo's playing with the crowd. Say, you want chicken?
Here's your job.
No, he gave him chicken. He's a man of the people. He's a man of the people.
He did that on purpose?
He did. He gave out free chicken.
That's pretty fun. It's pretty fun. So he missed the second free throw on purpose. Don't know if he missed the first one on purpose, but he did miss the second one on purpose. Everybody gets a free Chick-fil-A sandwich in the arena.
Ethan, ruling, sexist or not sexist?
Pretty darn sexist.
Thank you.
Yeah, dang, Ryan.
That's why Ethan's here today. Just to keep Ryan in line.
Your excuse.
It's one of those sports ball stories, Brad. You want to know about this one?
Hey,
hey, Brad. This is one with one of those round bouncy balls. Let's just let Andy sit here and be quiet about it.
Do you want to know about the basketball thing?
Let the men talk about the sports.
Yeah, I'll be right back. Gotta make a sandwich.
Annie. Man talk.
You know what I regret doing is saying, Brad, you're a guy. You like this kind of stuff.
Exactly. That's really the only place where it turns sexist for me.
The part where he makes it overtly sexist?
Yeah, that was the part.
All right, we're going to whip this on here.
I'm looking on my cut sheet here, and I don't have the Caitlin Clark sound from this weekend, which is fine. But the Caitlin Clark SNL beatdown on... I don't even know who the SNL news guys are.
Is Jay something.
There's a white guy and a black guy.
Yeah.
And they
Colin's
the white guy.
Yeah, and then the black guy's name, I think, is Jay.
I think he's funny.
Yeah.
But she came and she made fun of him, and it was funny. In a very, like, what Ryan kind of did to me way.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mm-hmm.
No, that was a good sports story that you just brought up. That was cool.
I wouldn't know.
I was going to say. Yeah, I don't know. Biden administration is cracking down on light bulbs as a part of their climate agenda.
Is this for me, or is this like home improvement?
No, this is like home ec stuff, so
Okay.
that's cool.
All right.
The Biden administration...
Could you do a story on gas stoves?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, then I'll really weigh in.
Right up your alley.
Yeah, actually, Kennedy did a whole segment on this on Fox News about how, all the different things that the Biden administration is trying to get into your house and in your kitchen to change. This is the latest one. Department of Energy announced their new standards for general service lamps, which include the most common types of residential and commercial light bulbs. So, yeah, they're coming after your light bulbs, making common household appliances, in their words, more efficient. It's one of the most effective ways to slash energy costs and cut harmful carbon emissions.
Aren't modern-day light bulbs the worst?
Oh, man. Do they take a while to get brighter, or is that just in my head?
This was an Obama initiative.
Yes.
And I don't remember exactly what we had to go away from and to, but we legitimately in my house called the squirrely
those swirly
light bulbs.
ones.
Those are called Obama bulbs in my house.
Really?
Yes. Like my kids would be like, it's got an Obama bulb in it. I'm like, no wonder it sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and if you have the type of lamp that needs to sit on the bulb, you can't use those swirly ones. You can only use them for certain
Doesn't
outlets.
it sit under the bulb and you screw
Yeah.
the light bulb? You're not supposed to sit that on top
I
of
don't
the
know
bulb.
household stuff. I'm a guy.
I mean, I don't have
Or like Mr. Fix-It stuff. How many Ryan Wigginses does it take to change a light bulb? We don't know.
Yeah,
the world may
depends on
never
the
know.
type of light bulb.
But for me, I don't know. I don't mind the LED bulbs, but those fluorescent swirly ones are absolute garbage. And you can't even just throw them away.
Super toxic to get rid of.
Yes, that's the other thing. You can't just throw it away.
That's how you know they're liars. I hate those bulbs. Steve Moore, Mike Davis in the 1 o'clock hour. Thanks, Ethan. That was great.
And if you think
You know, most people never get to sit down with elected officials and ask them about the important issues. I'm Judge Mike Carter, and that's exactly why I host the news talk program Justice in Journalism with me, Judge Mike Carter. My goal is to bring those who represent us closer to the people they serve. I ask the questions you would in a no-nonsense manner. That's why we've been able to interview so many top local, state, and federal officials, because as a judge, I offer an unbiased, one-on-one conversation that's hard to find elsewhere these days. Besides serving as judge, I have a journalism degree, which is how the name of the show, Justice Justice and Journalism with me, Judge Mike Carter, evolved. You never know who we'll interview next, from Governor Parson to prosecutors, sports figures to Missouri business leaders. Justice and Journalism with me, Judge Mike Carter, airs on Fox and ABC. You can also watch our past shows at MikeCarter.com, where we ask the questions and let you be the judge.
If you'd like to see more of Judge Mike Carter's interviews on his program, Justice and Journalism, visit MikeCarter.com. That's MikeCarter.com.
I don't know if you've ever been outside the St. Louis area and seen Andrea's steak sauce somewhere, maybe just in a friend's house or something, and went, oh, it's like our hometown thing. But yes, it is very, very well known outside this area and even internationally. I've mentioned before, and this isn't a partisan comment, but every year the White House chef, no matter who the chef is, orders a case of Andrea's steak sauce, because it is something that they use to cook their steaks for dignitaries and whatnot, and they have done so since the Reagan administration. This is a very, very well-known and well-respected steak sauce. So if you've never had Andrea's sauce, you definitely need to get a jar of it. Next time you're at Schnucks or at Dierberg's, I always see it when I'm at Schnucks. The butcher actually puts it right up on the counter, because they know, people in the know, all know that if you're going to get any cut of meat, Andrea's is going to make it better and easier for you to cook. It's a brush-on steak sauce. You can pick it up at those stores that I mentioned or Andreas.com.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
The Golden Gate Bridge shut down by protesters. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. A handful of people holding banners and criticizing Israel, bringing traffic to a halt in both directions on the California landmark, with police lining up nearby at first and then beginning to make arrests a short time ago. This as protesters also blocked access to Chicago's O'Hare Airport earlier today.
If somebody truly cared about the Palestinian people, they would have called on Hamas to surrender and release all hostages.
Tal Heinrich, a spokesperson for Israel's prime minister, also telling Fox News after Iran's attack on Israel over the weekend.
What I can tell you definitively is that there's not going to be any taking chances on our security.
Israel's military chief warning there will be a response to the Iranian attack. Many of the missiles, drones, and rockets fired at Israel failed to launch, and hundreds were shot down with help from the U.S. and other allies. White House National Security Communications Advisor John Kirby moments ago.
I've seen reporting that the Iranians meant to fail. That this spectacular and embarrassing failure was all by design. I've also seen Iran say that they provided early warning to help Israel prepare its defenses and limit any potential damage. All of this is categorically false.
Kirby says Iran's intent was to cause significant destruction. President Biden says the U.S. is committed to Israel's security, while also calling again for a ceasefire in Gaza that will bring hostages home. The first criminal trial of a former U.S. president off to a slow start with pretrial arguments ahead of today's scheduled start of jury selection.
They're being given a questionnaire of 42 questions. It's designed to ferret out those who can't give Trump a fair shake.
Fox's Eric Shawn at State Supreme Court in Manhattan, where the former president told reporters the hush money-related case is an attack on the president's political opponent. America is listening to Fox News.
Moments like my daughter telling me a new joke mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that is spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Still feeling like summer, partly sunny, windy, and warm going through our Monday afternoon. We'll keep an eye out for a spot thunderstorm. 85 for the high. Tonight, cloudy skies, some scattered showers and thunderstorms around. 65. Tuesday, a mix of clouds and sunshine. Very windy day on Tuesday with scattered, possibly strong to severe thunderstorms on Tuesday with a high near 80. I'll keep you up to date on that. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
So thediamondshop.net, that's the website where you can go visit right now. I'm going to do the same thing while we're talking here. Thediamondshop.net has the ability for you to go sign up to be a VIP. I encourage you to do this because if you're purchasing jewelry in the very near future or whenever, if you've been kind of thinking about maybe making a jewelry purchase, the Diamond Shop is going to give you extra access to savings by becoming a VIP. Doesn't cost you anything to do that, and it's really simple to sign up. Just go to thediamondshop.net and sign up on their website. In April, you're going to save extra on Colorstone jewelry, 40% off. On all in-stock jewelry, 30% off. And you're going to add, once you become a VIP, an extra 10% off the top of that. Many people in St. Louis have generationally relied on the Diamond Shop for quality products, great customer service that you can rely on, and the consistency in care once you make a purchase to be able to keep it clean and to keep it in tip-top shape. The Diamond Shop sees it through the whole process. And generationally, you've got dads recommending to their coming-of-age sons if they're going to make a purchase, go to the Diamond Shop. They're going to take care of you. I'm going to tell you, go to the Diamond Shop. They're going to take care of you. All the details online at thediamondshop.net.
Mark Cox here. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how to link to the market without the risk. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go online to retirementkey.com.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential, but finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ZipRecruiter.com/radio. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/radio. That's ZipRecruiter.com/radio. ZipRecruiter.com/radio.
Guys, you know summer is just around the corner. Get yourself in shape now. Let my friends at Victory Men's Health help you. Mark Cox here. You know Victory is offering semaglutide, approved by the FDA for overweight adults. It's a game changer. On average, people are losing up to 15% of their body weight. Be sure and visit my friends at Victory Men's Health in Wing Haven, their newest location in Sunset Hills. They're also in Town and Country and in O'Fallon, Illinois. Go online today. Tell them you heard Mark Cox talking about it. VictoryMen'sHealth.com.
Don't miss the Mark Cox Morning Show Spring Bourbon Fling at Clayton Winehouse. Kim St. Ange here. Join Mark and me on Thursday, April 18 from 5:30 to 8 p.m. We'll try Proof and Wood, RD1, Four Roses, and more. Tickets are on sale now at 971talk.com/events.
If you owe the IRS, you have a legal issue, and you need the Lance Drury Law Firm. We'll protect your rights. Log on at lancedrurylaw.com or call us toll-free at 888-367-6512.
The Annie Fry Show YouTube live chat poll of the day is sponsored by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is The Annie Fry Show.
Well, happy tax day. Everybody feels real joyful today, don't you? It's that dreaded April 15th, and the money that you owe Uncle Sam has to be paid by today. I wonder if any of you are scrambling at the last minute. How many of you do it by yourselves or have, especially let's talk about the lawyers and the accountants and all the people who have to have spent the last 3.5 months at work at all waking hours trying to get taxes done. Tomorrow is going to be a great day for them. Well, it'll be past the hubbub of the tax season. We know that we have to pay taxes. There are purposes for taxes. There are wastes of taxes. One of my favorite things that Rand Paul puts out is he puts out that waste report. Doesn't he do that on Festivus?
Festivus, yeah.
It's like the airing of grievances. Yep. Rand Paul will go out and he'll tell you all of the useless things that your taxpayer dollars are being spent on. It really is aggravating to see how all of these things can get stuffed into one bill, and you listen to the Nancy Pelosi's of the world. We have to pass the bill so that we can see what's in it. I'm going to say this in a way that's probably going to hit wrong, but I'm going to say it anyway. We probably have been too hard on Nancy Pelosi for saying we have to pass the bill so that we can see what's in it, because she just said it out loud. It's not as if there aren't Democrats and Republicans alike that are passing bills, voting in favor of bills that they haven't read in completion. How could they possibly read the bills in completion? They don't have the bills with enough heads up in advance to be able to do that. And then they come together as a caucus and, make the determination, we're going to vote for this, we're going to vote against it. It's hard to think about how we're going to get back to some semblance of sanity from where we are right now, where the government is so big and so massive that the position of a single congressperson to have to read a whole bill and know top to bottom what somebody's stuck on page 863 and how that's going to affect one thing or the other. It really shouldn't be up to Rand Paul on Festivus to air those grievances for us to then find out, oh, we're legitimately paying for shrimps on treadmill or whatever. That's the one that I can't ever get over. And then there were videos of it, of the little shrimpies running on the treadmills or whatever. I can't even remember what it was studying. We also can't get past the idea that Joe Biden was saying in the State of the Union that we had a cancer vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
Do you remember this?
Yes, I remember that.
It's my recollection that he said that in a different State of the Union as well.
I know.
It only comes up then.
I know that he said, he was supposed to be the one that he was the cancer czar or whatever under Obama. It was his job to cure cancer. And he didn't. But now, we have a vaccine?
Here's from this year, March.
The pandemic no longer controls our lives. The vaccines that saved us from COVID are now being used to beat cancer, turning setback into comeback. That's what America does.
Don't bury the lead, dude. You got a vaccine for cancer on the horizon. That's like front page of story of the year stuff, but we only hear it when the bully pulpit is enacted and you have the opportunity to stand up there and say whatever you need to say. I can't get over, again, the energy that he had in that speech and the lack of energy that he has in all other circumstances. I really believe that it should be public information if he has to be given medicines in order to get through that speech. Here's what President Joe Biden said last Wednesday. And this is a very political statement, of course, but this is from last week when the president was speaking from the Rose Garden.
We have dramatically reduced inflation from 9% down to close to 3%. We're in a situation where we're better situated than we were when we took office, where inflation was skyrocketing. And we have a plan to deal with it, whereas my opposition talks about two things. They just want to cut taxes for the wealthy and raise taxes on other people. And so I think they have no plan. Our plan is one I think is still sustainable.
So President Biden speaking in the Rose Garden championing the Biden administration's record on inflation and saying, you like that other guy, and he's going to lower taxes on the wealthy and then raise them on the other people. I guess that's supposed to be like you and me. What if we could speak to somebody who's advising Donald Trump on economics about this very issue? Oh, Steve Moore, there he is. Great to have him on the show. He's a distinguished fellow in economics at Heritage, as well as a Trump economic advisor. You had to fall out of your chair when you heard, or maybe you're used to it by now, Joe Biden make those claims.
Well, I did, and good to be with you, Annie. And when I heard that, I thought, is there anybody in America who really actually believes that? Is there anybody who thinks actually Trump is going to raise their taxes and Biden's going to cut them? Biden has been one of the champion tax increases of all time. And incidentally, he has told the American people what he's going to do if he's reelected, God forbid. He's going to raise tax on investment. He wants to double the capital gains tax. He wants to raise taxes on investments, dividends. He wants to reinstate massive death tax, which I think is one of the most evil taxes ever. And look, I guess what I would say is if you're someone who actually believes that you can make the economy grow faster and fight inflation by raising taxes, then you probably should vote for Joe Biden because that's what he's going to do. But I guarantee you that Donald Trump is not going to be raising taxes. We have a plan to make our tax cut permanent, and because when we cut the taxes on, and not just corporations, we did that because we wanted to make sure that the jobs stayed here in the United States, but also don't forget small businesses, the men and women who run the businesses that employ over half the people, they got a 20% reduction on their taxes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. We're speaking with Steve Moore right now. I think about what Joe Biden can say in front of a media that won't question him on it, won't do all the Pinocchios and everything and make a big deal out of it, as they would if Donald Trump was up there in front of the microphone. It is tax day today. Not really an exciting day for a lot of Americans, but I wanted to give you the opportunity to talk about taxes, just their philosophy, Steve Moore, on the whole, about an American's duty to pay into a general pot for maybe things like national defense or infrastructure, roads and stuff. What's your philosophy on a good tax versus a bad tax?
So sorry, I'm in Manhattan today, and a big bus just went by.
That's okay. That's all right.
Can you hear me? Okay.
Yep.
So,
we can hear you.
Okay. Can I start with a joke?
Yes, please.
Yeah. Okay. What is the difference between a taxidermist and a tax collector?
I'm afraid to know. What? Tell us.
The taxidermist only takes your skin.
Fair. Okay. All right.
Anyway, so it is tax day, and I'll tell you another. Just how bad things are. I'll tell you kind of a personal story, which is that when I was, you may recall that I was nominated by Donald Trump to be on the Fed.
Mm-hmm. And
when that happened, everybody started checking my tax returns, because that's what they do if you're up for a federal, position. And so the IRS we had a lien we had a tax lien of $50,000, and we'd been fighting the IRS for literally 2 years. And, we said, no, you owe us money. We don't owe you money. I bet a lot of people listening to this can relate to this. So what happened is after the whole fight of the Federal Reserve Board was over, and I did not make it through the process, we about 2 weeks later, we got just a check from the IRS saying, oh, whoops-a-daisy, we made a mistake. You're right, we owed you money. And, I'm like, oh, good, where do I get my reputation back?
Sure.
Because, they froze. By the way, did you know the IRS can freeze your wages? They can garnish your wages. They have an unbelievable power. And anybody who's fought the IRS, and I bet about half your listeners have, know it's about as much fun as having your wisdom teeth pulled. And so why are we hiring 80,000 new IRS agents?
Right. Yeah, it seems as though if you've got that power and you've got added the manpower to the authority that they're given, that's very threatening to the American people.
Well, see, this is the thing. This is my favorite time of the season to talk about one of my favorite ideas, which is the flat tax. Why can't we have a postcard return? Very simple. Everybody pays 18 or 19%. You get a deduction for yourself and your kids, but you don't get tax deductions for investing in windmills and bull sperm and all the racetracks and things like that. And it's really simple, and you can fill it out in 15 minutes, and it's fair. Everybody pays the same share of tax. Why can't we do that?
I don't tell us. Why won't they do that? What's politically advantageous?
I'll answer my own question.
Yeah.
Because the tax code is the epicenter of power in Washington. What Washington does and the politicians is they buy and sell tax favors.
So you surrender that to a postcard tax return to fill out, then you surrender the power. Nobody's gonna give in to that.
Yeah, because you get rid of all the deductions, loopholes, special interest provisions, and if you and I live next to each other and we both have about the same income, shouldn't we pay the same tax?
Yeah, you would think so, but I guess it depends on what you're interested in.
No, nothing in Washington makes any sense. And so, by the way, when I talk to my friends and members of Congress in about a flat tax, it's like putting a cross in front of a vampire. They hate the idea, but America loves it. This is the ultimate. You want to drain the swamp? Let's have a flat tax.
Yeah, I love that. I have no opposition to that whatsoever. Last question before we
By the way, we probably would raise more money because you know what? If the system is simple and fair and understandable, people will pay there is a lot of money that doesn't get paid in taxes, mainly because when we pay our tax, we don't even know if we paid the right amount. We do our best.
Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm like, here's the $86,000 you want from me. I don't know if this is right or wrong. I don't.
As a law-abiding
what's right or
citizen,
wrong.
yeah, you're just trying to do your best, and you're just crossing your fingers and hoping they don't show up at your door. Last question before we let you go. Steve Moore with us right now. You are advising the Trump campaign. You have advised President Donald Trump. Who's the middle class better off under, Donald Trump or Joe Biden?
Was that a trick question? Of course. I mean, under Trump, the median family income above inflation rose by $6,000. Under Biden, it's fallen by $2,500. So the middle class did much better. By the way, that's why if you look at the polling, Biden is doing really well with the very poor and the very rich. And who's Trump winning? He's winning the middle class, blue collar families.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not a trick question, but for you, it's an easy one, which is why I asked you. Steve, happy tax day, if that's such a thing. Thanks for being with us today.
Too.
All right, bye-bye.
Take care.
He's a distinguished fellow in economics at the Heritage Foundation and an economic advisor to Donald Trump. That's Steve Moore, author of the book Govzilla, How the Relentless Growth of Government is Devouring Our Economy and Our Freedom. I would imagine a flat tax would take some of that government growth off the table. And again, it would be more for the people, which is why I think that the people in power are probably not in favor of it. Quick break. When we come back, Mike Davis, he's the founder and president of Article 3 Project. He is a flamethrower. We love having him on the Annie Fry Show to get his take on the legal lawfare that is being thrown at Donald Trump on the Trump trial taking place today. Hush Money, Michael Cohen, Stormy Daniels. Check them all off your bingo card. Mike Davis and his thoughts on the Annie Fry Show in just a minute. Don't go away.
Promise that you'll never find another like me.
The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Point Pest Control. You have to call these people. They are the experts at getting rid of the creepy crawlies in your house. They've done it for me. I speak as an incredibly satisfied customer myself. I would have my kids do endorsements for them as well because they haven't had to deal with any creepy crawlies in our house, especially the 8-legged ones. Point Pest Control will come into your home and take care of business and stand by their work. They came to spray our house in November, I think it was. I have a quarterly service that I pay for with Point Pest Control so that they can always keep it fresh and current. And I haven't seen a bug in my house since November. That is fantastic, and I recommend it as a very satisfied customer myself. Spiders, crickets, mice, ants. If you've got termites, that might be something that you unfortunately come across. Point Pest Control can help you with the termite problem as well as the rest of those bugs. 636-798-0023. 636-798-0023. It's Point with an E, pointpestcontrol.com.
I spray and scrub, but the soap scum in my bathtub is still there.
I spray and scrub, but the burnt sauce on my stovetop sticks around.
Sprays can leave grime behind. The new Mr. Clean Ultra Foamy Magic Eraser combines the scrubbing power of an eraser with the cleaning power of Dawn to melt away tough messes on contact.
Just wet, squeeze, and erase.
Stop spraying, start erasing, and clean with more magic than ever with new Ultra Foamy Magic Eraser.
Mr. Clean, Mr. Clean.
This station is now conducting a test of the emergency alert system. This
Mike Carter here of Carter Law Offices. You know, as an attorney, I make my way across the great state of Missouri on a pretty regular basis. And from the rivers to the lakes and the Ozark Mountains, it's really just a pleasure to travel across the great state of Missouri. And, you know, not to mention, we have the best sports team and the best cities and the friendliest small towns in America, it seems like. And Carter Law Offices wants to make sure Missouri's story gets out far and wide about our excellent business climate, our exceptional workforce. You'll hear more from me soon, Mike Carter.
Visit MikeCarter.com to see Mike's interviews with all of Missouri's elected leaders.
Mike Carter here of Carter Law Offices. You know, as an attorney, I make my way across the great state of Missouri on a pretty regular basis. And from the rivers to the lakes and the Ozark Mountains and the richest farmland around, it's really just a pleasure to travel across the great state of Missouri. And, you know, not to mention, we have the best sports team and the best cities and the friendliest small towns in America, it seems like. And Carter Law Offices wants to make sure Missouri's story gets out far and wide about our excellent business climate, our exceptional workforce. You'll hear more from me soon, Mike Carter.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Our $79 garage door tune-up extended through April. Is your garage door old and whining for attention? Overhead Door Company of St. Louis will make it all better. They'll perform their full 26-task garage door tune-up for just $79, extended through April. That's just $79 for up to 3 garage doors and openers. You need this done once a year, so why not now? And for just $79. Schedule now at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. 9 out of 10 homes are under-insulated. Is yours? Did you know that there's an R value associated with insulation? To find out your R value or for free insulation estimate, visit aircomfortservice.com.
This is The Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
Well, you know, Trump's people would like to trivialize and diminish the meaning of this trial, but in fact, it's perfectly emblematic of the others that are out there. They're all about electoral interference and manipulation. They tried it with violence, and we're going to see that in the D.C. case. They tried it with fraud. We're going to see that in the Georgia case. And here, they tried it with payoffs and then cooking the books. Financial manipulation. That's what it's about. It's a very serious case, and I think the Trump people are going to be shocked how tuned in America is to what's going on here.
I think somebody's going to be shocked, and I'm hoping at the end of all of this, it is Jamie Raskin, the congressman there, saying that Trump world is dead wrong. Well, let's get our friend Mike Davis on the show, founder and president of the Article 3 Project. And when it comes to the hush money trial that is starting today, according, Mike Davis, to your Twitter, you're saying that this is the Biden trial. Welcome back to the show.
Thank you for having me.
You bet. Give us your view. Jamie Raskin just was talking about how important and serious this case is in Manhattan against Donald Trump. How do you see what's taking place, what's starting today?
Well, I'm up here in New York City, and I was outside of the courthouse earlier today when the proceedings began, and there were hundreds of people out in front of the courthouse, but they were reporters. And this is a trash criminal case. It's a tabloid criminal case. You have a businessman settling a nuisance claim from 7 years ago. And that is, at best, a bookkeeping misdemeanor. And I don't even think it's a bookkeeping misdemeanor, but this Alvin Bragg, this Manhattan DA, this Soros-funded Manhattan DA, has taken what is at best a time-barred bookkeeping misdemeanor to settle a nuisance claim and somehow transform this into 34 felony counts 7 years later against a former president for the first time ever, charging a former president. And that former president just happens to be the leading presidential candidate in an election year. This is obvious lawfare and election interference. The prior Manhattan DA, Cy Vance, the former Manhattan U.S. Attorney, the Federal Election Commission, and Alvin Bragg himself declined to bring this case, these bogus felony charges against Trump, because it's a bogus theory. It wasn't until Matthew Colangelo got deployed from the number 3 office in the Biden Justice Department. Matthew Colangelo was a senior political appointee in the Biden Justice Department to resurrect this zombie case against President Trump. And there before this Manhattan Democrat Judge Juan Merchan, who donated to Biden in 2020. He donated to another anti-Trump cause. And his adult daughter, Lauren Merchan, is a leading Democrat consultant and fundraiser who has raised almost $100 million off of this criminal prosecution over which her father is presiding. And so she has a direct financial stake in this. And a former Clinton federal judge in New York went on CNN on April 5th and said that Judge Merchan is legally conflicted under New York law and he must recuse from this case. He's refused to do it. When Trump raised this evidence of Judge Merchan's clear conflict of interest from his adult daughter's financial stake in this criminal prosecution, he responded by putting an illegal, unconstitutional gag order on President Trump. This is what you do in third world Marxist hellholes like Zimbabwe and North Korea, and now New York, D.C., and Atlanta.
It seems, Mike Davis, that they've had to go through some significant legal gymnastics to even bring this case into the courtroom. The timing, the time frame, like what is actually being alleged that Donald Trump did. This is not the same as, but it reminds me of the fraud case that was taking place in New York. And you're trying to find out, like, who is the victim in this crime? I guess they're alleging that the American people are the victim, that this was somehow, the hush money was somehow contrived to steal the election. But we're talking about the 2016 election. Why is it that all of the sudden, is there any reason that they would give, that Jamie Raskin would give, that this is important now in the 2024 election season?
Yeah, it's amazing. You have $30 million going from China and Russia and Ukraine, Kazakhstan into every Biden family member's bank account, it seems, except for the 5-year-old granddaughter who they finally claimed after years under political pressure. But you're going to go after Trump for, at best, settling a nuisance claim and then putting it in the books in 2017. And somehow they didn't put it in the books right, but that putting it in the books in 2017 somehow affected the 2016 election. It's just a bizarre legal theory that even the New York Times and the Washington Post said was absurd. But now that this is going to trial, of course, the New York Times and Washington Post will change their tune and say that this is the greatest criminal case and the most important criminal case in American history.
So on Twitter, you have a Biden trial fact sheet. And I think that a lot of us look at what's happening to Donald Trump as voters, as people who don't like the direction this country is going. Some of us are strong at Donald Trump and always have been Donald Trump supporters. Other people are so disenfranchised and disenchanted with the Biden administration that they might be up for voting for the guy they thought they'd never vote for. Why do you suggest that this goes squarely all the way to Joe Biden? What do you think is actually involved in the pressure to contrive these types of charges and do the legal gymnastics to get to where we are right now?
Well, Biden's fingerprints are directly on all 4 of these unprecedented criminal indictments of President Trump. Biden's prior rival in 2020 and his future rival in November of this year. It was Matthew Colangelo who got deployed from the Biden Justice Department. He was in the number 3 office, a senior political appointee there. He was the acting number 3, and then he became the number 2 to the number 3 when Vanita Gupta, a hardcore leftist, got confirmed as the associate Attorney General. Colangelo got deployed to Bragg's office to bring this first indictment ever against a former president, and they waited years to do this. This was misconduct allegedly from 2016, 2017 time period, but it wasn't until Trump said he was running for election that all of a sudden these charges appear. You also have Nathan Wade, the dumb, unqualified boyfriend of Fulton County DA Fannie Willis, who billed his time to the Fulton County taxpayers and COVID funds for Nathan Wade's 2 meetings with the Biden White House, including the Biden White House counsel, 16 hours at $250 an hour before Fannie Willis, Big Fannie, brought her unprecedented indictment against President Trump for the non-crime of objecting to a presidential election, which is allowed by the Electoral Count Act of 1887 and the First Amendment. And then Jack Smith has 2 prosecutions, one for a former president having his presidential records in the office of former president, which is allowed under the Presidential Records Act. And another January 6th case, it was Biden Deputy White House Counsel Jonathan Sue on behalf of President Biden, who waived President Trump's claim of constitutional executive privilege going back 250 years that led to the unprecedented raid on the office of former president for presidential records he's allowed to have. Biden has his fingerprints on all 4 of these criminal cases. It was also Biden who pressured Merrick Garland to bring these cases, publicly pressuring him, putting political pressure on his attorney general to go after President Trump. And here we are during the middle of election season, you have these Democrat judges and Democrat prosecutors and Democrat juries in these Democrat hellholes of New York, D.C., and Atlanta trying to keep President Trump in a courtroom every day under the threat of going to jail, according to Judge Merchan, if Trump doesn't show up every day for this 8-week or more trial instead of on the campaign trail.
You know, Mike Davis speaking with us right now, the founder and president of the Article 3 Project. The way you've laid it out and the way America has watched this unfold, it's very obvious that this is a campaign strategy on Joe Biden's part, on the left's part. In your mind, last question before we let you go, and I would ask you to look at the whole lawfare landscape as Donald Trump is facing right now. What does justice truly look like at the end of all of this lawfare against Donald Trump?
When President Trump is put back into the White House, because the American people, not Democrat prosecutors and judges and juries and Democrat hellholes like New York, D.C., and Atlanta, are going to decide who's the president of the United States. We're not going to destroy democracy in the process. And when President Trump is back in office, his Justice Department must open a criminal probe on this obvious conspiracy to violate the civil rights of President Trump, his top aides, his lawyers, his supporters on January 6th. This is a criminal conspiracy to violate civil rights of political opponents and their supporters. This is election interference, and there must be consequences to this. These are republic-ending tactics by Biden and these Democrat prosecutors.
Should Donald Trump win, do you feel that he will do that?
He must. He must. It's the only way we are going to save this country. The Democrats have crossed the Rubicon. They only respect power. If we don't show them power, if there are not consequences for this clear, illegal, criminal conspiracy to violate the civil rights of so many others, this conspiracy to interfere in the election, if there are not severe legal, financial, and political consequences, this will never end.
Mike Davis, we appreciate your time today on a very busy day for you in New York City surrounding that Donald Trump hush money trial that has commenced today. Thank you for being with us here. We appreciate you.
Thank you, Annie.
Of course. Mike Davis is the founder and president of the Article 3 Project. He's also the former chief counsel for nominations, the United States Senate Committee on the Judiciary. You can follow him on Twitter at MRDDMIA, and you can also connect with the Article 3 Project on Twitter and at article3project.org. I highly encourage you to do that. Grateful to have him out there, especially with his time spent outside the courtroom today. There's a lot of hubbub going around right now. Hopefully this doesn't come to St. Louis. I haven't heard anything that any of this is coming to St. Louis, but there are pro-Palestinian protests that are shutting down traffic in both San Francisco and New York City right now. They've shut down the Golden Gate Bridge. How do you handle something like that? What do you do? How do you handle that? I don't like this. I don't like the visual right now of bridges being flooded with people and cars, considering recent events. I don't like any of this. I don't know what's going on. Do we just suffer these protesters? What are we going to do? Go over and cause a ceasefire in the Middle East so that we can open our bridges again? I just really don't understand. Did you see, Brad, there was a woman, I cannot remember. I tweeted about it. I can find it here. There was a woman who went in front of, I think it was like a city council. I think it was in California, Southern California,
I remember,
maybe.
I know what you're talking about.
And At first blush, when I saw this, I just saw the video of her. I guess she was being arraigned or whatever,
Yeah, charged.
And she was very upset. She was crying. She was finding out that she's facing 16 charges for threatening to murder public officials. She went to a city council meeting in Bakersfield. I think it's California. Maybe not. If it's not, I'll correct myself here in the break. I'll get the specific details. But she goes and you didn't pull this, right?
No.
I didn't ask you to. She goes in front of the city council, and what she wants a ceasefire resolution from the Bakersfield City Council. You want to talk about self-aggrandizing? You go in front of a city council and you get your little video and you call for a ceasefire in the Middle East at the Bakersfield City Council meeting? But she goes, when she has this conversation, she refers to the city council as MFers. And then she talks about how I think she says something about bringing the guillotine because she wants to murder all of them. Like she speaks in explicitly clear language.
Right.
And then she comes back and she talks about the fact that she or they are going to come to their homes and essentially murder them. Well, she was arrested and held on $1 million bail and then had been charged with 16 felonies. So the first video I saw was just of her being arraigned. And she's wearing, like a mauve, brownish prison suit garb or whatever. She doesn't have any, she's not done up. She doesn't have any makeup on. She's got her hair pulled back in a low, white scrunchy bun. And she's crying. I felt when I saw that, I initially thought, this is really sad. Whatever this woman did, she seems as though they have an FAFO up there. But she seemed as though, like, this moment, she's in front of a trial. And there are times where I will see people who are facing the music, and here's what I do. I pity them. There is an element of sadness that I have for them because they've made a choice to give up their freedom. They've made a choice that their life will never be the same, and it's on them. And I think that is a sad story.
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't mean that I feel like we should take that sadness away from them.
Right. And they made that decision in a rational moment of emotional passion.
Maybe. Or maybe they calculated it.
That's possible, too.
And I mean, like, I will still look at that person and think there are people who love them who have lost somebody because this individual has made really terrible decisions. And it impacts everyone. You know what it's like when you yourself make a really bad decision and it impacts other people. And nobody's going to jail. There are no crimes committed, but maybe you just made the wrong decision and it hurts yourself and it hurts the people around you. You want to take that decision back, but you can't. You have to figure out, what does it look like moving forward? How do I make the best of what's in front of me? And sometimes that involves court systems and 16 felony charges and jail time. So the first video I saw this woman and I had pity for her. And then when I watched her so arrogantly stand in front of these city council members and use her words to threaten murder to people on the Bakersfield City Council because they wouldn't effectively put forth the pro-Palestinian ceasefire that she wanted to see happen, I'm like, hope you learned your lesson.
Yeah.
Which is why I retweeted and said, "Ope." It was an FAFO. And if you don't know what that means, you're just going to have to Google it. It's the letters. Once you start, you're going to be like, oh. We have people who are so bold and brazen in what they're entitled to do for people to hear and see their message. Listen, if you go back to the civil rights movement, people had to be bold and brazen in order for us to get on the other side of the civil rights movement. I understand that. But shutting down the Golden Gate Bridge and backlogging the Golden Gate Bridge full of people and cars, I don't like it. I really don't like the way that looks right now. New York City and Manhattan, I almost asked Mike Davis and Steve Moore, because I think he's probably in New York right now too, if they had seen any of these protests disrupting everyday life. If you're on the bridge and you're stopping people who might need medical care, or somebody needs to get to somebody in time and they can't get there because you've determined that your cause is more important than everybody else's, I need consequences that deflect people from making those choices, whatever those might be. All right, we'll look into it a little bit more, and we'll get back to you here on the other end of this break. And go vote in the YouTube live chat poll. Has Joe Biden done anything that is a net good in his presidency? Yes or no? And guys, if you are somebody out here who's like, Annie, that's the stupidest question ever, of course he's done good things. I need some of your comments to fill in with all of these people who are saying no. I want to know if you like Joe Biden and you want to keep your Joe Biden, why you would want somebody else to vote for your Joe Biden. Erica says, I can't think of a single thing Joe Biden has done since he's been in office. He's the worst president in my lifetime, and I was born right before the Carter years. What do you say to it? Let us know on the Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll and get your vote in and your voice heard. We'll be right back.
The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
Searching for a home to purchase on the Illinois side of the Mississippi? You need Jen Teskey. It's really that simple. 618-541-1010. Her team is always growing and learning and expanding what they can do for you. And Jen Teskey is the best. She's also maybe the sweetest person ever. She's kind of got a Southern charm to her that really makes you feel like, yes, I have the right person, because she's whip smart at the market on the Illinois side of the river. And if you're looking to sell your home and or buy a home, Jen Teskey is the number to call. 618-541-1010, 618-541-1010. Here's another thing that she specializes in. Additionally, she can help you buy and sell your home in Illinois, no problem. But there's an extra circumstance that requires a certain set of skills, and Jen Teskey has them. I'm talking about divorce real estate. If you or someone you know is going through a divorce and there is a piece of real estate that is involved in that process, and there's somebody needs to go in there to help get the job done, to make sure it's done right and do it fair, Jen Teskey will help you with that. She will be a savior to that part of that circumstance. She's specially trained to assist attorneys and divorce clients navigate challenges of selling a home during a divorce. So if this is you or someone you know, JenTeskeyHomes.com, or call 618-541-1010, 618-541-1010, JenTeskeyHomes.com.
Judge Mike Carter here to talk to you about my news talk program, Justice and Journalism with Judge Mike Carter. People ask, why is a judge a host of a news talk show? As a judge, I'm the neutral party that seeks to learn the truth and bring you the facts. Somewhere along the line, news shows lost that objectivity. Growing up, I can remember watching Walter Cronkite and knowing you could believe he didn't have a hidden agenda. Before I received my law degree and later became an elected judge for the past decade, I earned a master's degree in journalism at Mizzou, the very same journalism school Walter Cronkite attended. I was given a real appreciation for getting to the truth both as a judge and a journalist. Hence the name of my show, Justice and Journalism, with me, Judge Mike Carter. Here I focus on local newsmakers, personalities, and Missouri officials like Governor Parson, Lieutenant Governor Kehoe, Secretary of State Ashcroft, Attorney General Bailey, and many more. Justice and Journalism with me, Judge Mike Carter, airs on Fox and ABC. You can also watch our past shows at MikeCarter.com, where we ask the questions and let you be the judge.
If you'd like to see more of Judge Mike Carter's interviews on his program, Justice and Journalism, visit MikeCarter.com.
Beat the spring cleaning rush and call our cleaning heroes at Zero Res. This month, get 3 rooms, Zero Resified, starting at $129, and take $50 off your air duct cleaning. Visit ZeroResSTL.com and book your appointment today. You spell it backward or forward, it spells the same. Zero Res.
I'm embarrassed to say this. I've been using deodorant on my armpits for 30 years, and anytime I noticed odor anywhere else, I thought I needed another shower, I wasn't clean, or I felt like there was something wrong with me. And then my gynecologist told me about Lumi. It's a whole body deodorant for pits, feet, and privates that controls odor anywhere and everywhere on your body. Since Lumi, I never have to worry about body odor ever again, anywhere on my body. And that reassurance is worth every penny.
There's a special offer for listeners. Use code 555 and get 15% off your first purchase with code 555, like the Lumi Starter Pack, Acidified Body Wash, or new Lumi Plus Sweat Control. That's LUME deodorant.com, code 555 for 15% off your first purchase. With over 200,000 five-star reviews, I am so sure you're going to love it. Or return it for free with Lumi's 60-day money-back guarantee. That's LUME deodorant.com, code 555 to save 15% today.
Sick of those annoying ads slowing you down online? Introducing i3 Broadband's 100% fiber optic network with advanced whole home Wi-Fi. With speeds up to 8 gigabits, buffering is so yesterday. Our rock-solid connection keeps you streaming, gaming, and browsing without a hitch, thanks to our ad blocking feature. No contracts, no hidden fees, just pure internet bliss. And we've got a no-risk 30-day money-back guarantee. Dial 877-976-0711 or swing by i3broadband.com/STL. We're local, reliable, and committed to St. Louis.
Just imagine being walked all over for 36 years. Who would do that? The great customers of Reinhold Flooring, that's who. For over 3.5 decades, Reinhold Flooring has been the mecca for carpet, hardwood, vinyl, laminate, and area rugs. Reinhold Flooring is customer-driven with a focus on top-quality products and installations from the best team in the business. So come on in and walk all over your next flooring at Reinhold Flooring. Visit them at 5429 Telegraph Road in St. Louis or online at reinholdflooring.com.
Has Joe Biden done anything that is a net good in his presidency? Yes or no? That's today's Andy Fry YouTube live chat poll. We'd like to know, especially if you vote yes, what that is for you. Let us know. 148 right now. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
For 20 years, the Patriot Trading Foundation's been serving those who serve our nation. Don't miss the Patriot Trading Foundation's second annual Michael Collins Memorial Freedom Blast, Friday, April 19th. Learn more at 971talk.com/care.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
On a cloudy day, when it's cold outside, I've got the month of May. I guess you say, what can make me feel this way, my girl, my girl, my girl.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. The YouTube live chat poll, as Ryan was just saying, has Joe Biden done anything that is a net good in his presidency, yes or no? I came across this over the weekend, and UConn won the national championship, boys, this year. Once again, nobody was watching it, apparently. That's not true. Nobody was watching it, but the more people watch the girls, it's not like, it wasn't going to be a barn burner of a game. UConn was going to beat Purdue. I was thinking Indiana. I was thinking no, it's not Indiana because they're red. Pacers. Nope, that's not right. Just Purdue in general. They were going to lose. Everybody knew they were going to lose, but people wanted to see what happened in the girls' game. Obviously, Caitlin Clark was there, but it was going to be a more competitive game than the boys was. People understood that. UConn won last year as well. Is it Klingon? Is that how you say his name?
I couldn't tell you.
Donovan, I know how to say that one, from UConn, went last year to the White House. Because you win a championship, you can go to the White House. And we usually don't hear about these stories unless someone's like, I'm not going to the White House. Listen to him talk about the experience of being there with Joe Biden.
Last year, after we won a national championship, went to the White House, took a picture with Joe Biden, team picture. Joe Biden talked to us for about 3 minutes. Okay. And then right after that, he asked us for a picture again.
What did he say in that 3 minutes? Yeah.
Completely ignored Coach Shirley. Really couldn't understand what he was saying. And then he said, all right, let's grab a picture.
Yeah. I mean, wow. That's totally believable. And if the reason why I highlight that, okay, maybe Joe Biden was trying to fend off World War III that day and he had to fit UConn and a photo in, and he was mentally in a million different places, and he chose not to prioritize a photo op with the men's national championship NCAA basketball crew. Best construction that I can come up with right there. If Donald Trump had spent 3 minutes, 5 minutes with the national championship team and taken a picture with them, blathered on about something that they couldn't even understand, and then when he was done, asked, all right, let's take the picture, there would be doctors on all of the agenda-driven media news outlets. There would be doctors assessing the 25th Amendment of Donald Trump. That's not only would that have happened, that has happened. Yeah. Joe Biden is so not within himself. His mental faculties are so diminished that these type of things happen and everyone's like, yeah, and I think the most severe question we can ask ourselves is if Joe Biden isn't in charge, who is? Because again, if you don't know the people who are making the decisions, then that means that those people cannot be held accountable to the American people via vote or the American justice system or congressional hearings and testimony, because they're not the ones who are the face of the operation. The YouTube live chat poll for today: has Joe Biden done anything that is a net good in his presidency? Yes or no, Brad? This is what people in this industry say. What say you?
It
drives me crazy.
I've run through a couple things in my brain that I thought, well, maybe. I was like, initially, Israel, his support for Israel. I was like, that was, oh, no, wait, he's wavering on that. So, no, I can't count that. And then somebody said the CHIPS Act. And I was like, oh, okay, yeah, that's pretty good. But then we talked to somebody that says, well, these companies are not actually making factories and pulling out of factories in the U.S. because of DEI policies and the impossibility of trying to actually build it. So while well-intentioned, the execution on that hasn't been great. The infrastructure bill, I was like, okay, we need infrastructure. Well, some of the stuff that they're saying they're doing, it just hasn't been done. They spent a bunch of money, but there's no projects going on. I'm struggling. I mean, even like capping insulin prices. I'm not a big fan of the idea of telling manufacturers of a product how much they can charge for their product. And the problem with that is like at a pharmaceutical company, those profits that everybody's always railing against, those get rolled into R&D for new medicines and new technologies that it can use to help people. So I don't think that cutting the ability to research new things is actually going to end up being a net good for the initial. So I don't know. I got nothing. I got nothing. Maybe the cybersecurity thing that one of our listeners mentioned. I'm a no. I'm a no. I got nothing.
Ryan?
I'm trying really hard here because we've talked about this a little bit, and the CHIPS Act is one thing that I did kind of consider. But the one that I came back to, and this is very anecdotal though, is that because inflation has been so bad, the phrasing here is important. Has Joe Biden done anything that is a net good in his presidency? So even if he didn't intend to, has it caused a net good?
Yeah.
So because inflation has been really bad, and because the price of shipping and transportation has gotten so high, which are linked, from what I've heard, companies have considered not going to China as much. So if you follow my logic here,
considered it.
there's especially smaller companies are considering the cost of doing business overseas to be higher. Therefore, it's onshoring more. So that's a very long way around of saying that's the only thing I can really come up with.
It still costs a lot more money to do business here.
And so
I don't know that the fact that they can't build in China automatically assumes that they're like, okay, we'll stay here. It might mean that they don't do it at all. Like, do you have any examples of this?
No, that's why I said it's very anecdotal. Like, it's just things I've heard, but no.
I'd be curious to know of any of the places that you heard, because I don't see anybody saying, well, it's a lot better to do business or to set up shop in the United States. Like you were saying, we had on a guest who was talking about how I think it was Samsung and
NVIDIA
mm-hmm. was they were gonna in Texas and maybe Ohio.
I think it was Arizona and
Ohio.
Yeah,
they were gonna build factories here, and it's like, no, the policies that have been top down implemented into this country, we're not doing that. And then they ended up doing business. Was it in Israel and Russia or something like that?
Yeah, something odd like that.
Super calm places where you don't have to worry about anything bad happening around your business. But those are big businesses, not small businesses like Ryan was talking about. Let us know what you think on the Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll. Has Joe Biden done anything that is a net good in his presidency? Terry says he has done nothing good or positive. He's trying to destroy America. That's a bold statement. Anybody disagree with it? You can go comment, and we'll feature your comment later in the show. Don't go away. We'll be right back.
Getting quality employees to fill positions in your company is essential. But finding those people can be a major hassle, unless you use ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter makes finding quality people a breeze. And right now you can try it for free at ziprecruiter.com/radio. With ZipRecruiter, one click sends your job to hundreds of top job sites. But more than that, ZipRecruiter's advanced technology identifies the candidates with the skills you need, sends you a list of great matches to review, then actively invites them to apply for your job. And the results speak for themselves. 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day. That's right, the first day. Now you can focus on your business and let ZipRecruiter do the work finding the best people for you. See for yourself. Experience the ease, efficiency, and power of ZipRecruiter for free. Just go to ziprecruiter.com/radio. That's ziprecruiter.com/radio. ziprecruiter.com/radio.
You know, most people never get to sit down with elected officials and ask them about the important issues. I'm Judge Mike Carter, and that's exactly why I host the news talk program Justice and Journalism with me, Judge Mike Carter. My goal is to bring those who represent us closer to the people they serve. I ask the questions you would in a no-nonsense manner. That's why we've been able to interview so many top local, state, and federal officials, because as a judge, I offer an unbiased, one-on-one conversation that's hard to find elsewhere these days. Besides serving as judge, I have a journalism degree, which is how the name of the show, Justice and Journalism with me, Judge Mike Carter, evolved. You never know who we'll interview next, from Governor Parson to prosecutors, sports figures to Missouri business leaders. Justice and Journalism with me, Judge Mike Carter, airs on Fox and ABC. You can also watch our past shows at MikeCarter.com, where we ask the questions and let you be the judge.
If you'd like to see more of Judge Mike Carter's interviews on his program, Justice and Journalism, visit MikeCarter.com. That's MikeCarter.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio. 97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Anti-Israel protests hitting cities across the U.S. I'm Lisa Brady, Fox News. This group in New York City chanting, "We are all Palestinians," near the New York Stock Exchange in Lower Manhattan. Others blocking access to Chicago's O'Hare Airport earlier today and shutting down traffic on California's Golden Gate Bridge. The California Highway Patrol removing at least 7 protesters, but still working on others who have chained themselves to cars. President Biden still pressing for a ceasefire in Gaza, while also saying the U.S. is committed to Israel's security, emphasizing the unprecedented multi-nation effort that defeated Iran's unprecedented attack on Israel over the weekend.
Sitting alongside Iraq's prime minister in the Oval Office, the president reiterated his commitment to a ceasefire in Gaza that brings hostages home
and preventing conflict from spreading beyond what it already has.
President Biden and the prime minister are discussing the U.S. troop presence in Iraq. At least one missile fired from Iran towards Israel was shot down by a U.S. air defense system in Iraq.
Fox's Jared Halpern at the White House. Jury selection now underway in the former president's first criminal trial in New York, where attorneys first spent hours on pre-trial arguments.
Several housekeeping issues have been at the forefront today, including a request by former President Trump's lawyers for Judge Juan Merchan to recuse himself. He didn't, as well as a ruling by the judge not to allow prosecutors to play the infamous Access Hollywood tape.
Fox's Tanya J. Powers, the former president accused of falsifying business records to hide hush money payments. He calls the case a witch hunt. A movie gun supervisor just sentenced to 18 months in prison for the shooting that killed the cinematographer on the set of Alec Baldwin's movie Rust. Armorer Hannah Gutierrez-Reed was convicted of involuntary manslaughter, blamed for live ammunition being on the set. Baldwin, who was holding the gun when it went off, faces the same charge at a trial scheduled for July. America is listening to Fox News.
Moments like hearing my cat purr good morning mean a lot to me. But after being diagnosed with metastatic breast cancer, or MBC, which is breast cancer that is spread to other parts of the body, they mean even more. I take Ibrance, palbociclib. Ibrance 125 milligram tablets with an aromatase inhibitor is for adults with HR-positive, HER2-negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs. Both of these can lead to death. Tell your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor if you have fever, chills, or other signs of infection, liver or kidney problems, are or plan to become pregnant, or are breastfeeding. Common side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infections, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning or loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Still feeling like summer, partly sunny, windy, and warm going through our Monday afternoon. We'll keep an eye out for a spot thunderstorm. 85 for the high. Tonight, cloudy skies, some scattered showers and thunderstorms around. 65 Tuesday, a mix of clouds and sunshine. Very windy day on Tuesday with scattered, possibly strong to severe thunderstorms on Tuesday with a high near 80. I'll keep you up to date on that. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Window World is the destination for so many St. Louisans looking to replace those windows that are worn out. They are not insulating the air in your home any longer. They may be cracked, and you can see the moisture forming inside of them. It's time to replace your windows, and you've known it for a while. Tax return coming in, maybe you want to apply that to the replacement windows in your home. And I encourage you to call Window World and start the conversation. Get a free estimate. 314-993-1800. 314-993-1800. Window World is simply the best window for less, which means that you're going to be able to enjoy the value of a quality window without having to make that sacrifice to pay for something that's lesser or to overpay for something that is adequate. Window World will guide you through this process. In just over 20 years in business, they've improved the look and thermal efficiency of over 72,000 customers in St. Louis, just like you, looking for a great window at a great price. 314-993-1800. Give Window World a call and tell them Annie sent you. You can find them online at windowworld.com.
Before you sell your home, consider your options. Mark Cox here, and for years now, I've been telling you about St. Louis real estate expert Gloria Liu, owner of Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty. Gloria is an expert in selling homes for the most money because she has the guarantees, the buyers, and different solutions for every type of seller. She recently provided a family multiple cash offers in minutes so they could move quickly with no showings, no costly repairs, and no hassles. Now, not everyone's looking for multiple cash offers. That's why Gloria will sell your home at your agreed upon price, or she'll buy it. Her name says it all, Your Home Sold Guaranteed. Regardless of whether you're looking for multiple cash offers or you want to utilize her Guaranteed Sold program to ensure you get the most money possible. Here's your next step. Call Gloria at 314-325-6888 or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
You've been listening to the very popular Wellness One for many years, Saturdays and Sundays on 97.1 FM Talk. We're happy to share that we've expanded the show to 4 times a week. Yes, 4 times every weekend. Saturday at 10 a.m., Saturday at 8 p.m., Sunday at 9 a.m., and Sunday at 2 p.m. It's the same great show designed to cut through the nonsense and provide you a common sense, science-based strategy for a healthy life. So join TJ and Aaron for Wellness One. Now 4 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk.
Don't pay retail for your diamond engagement ring or gift. Come to cleanorigin.com, where experts in ecologically friendly lab-grown diamonds. Mention code RADIO10 for 10% off. That's cleanorigin.com online or one of our retail stores.
Aerosmith is coming back to St. Louis on October 14th, and we want to send you for free just by listening to us. It's Mark Reardon. Listen all this week for your chance to win tickets to the Aerosmith Peace Out Farewell Tour with the Black Crowes.
The Annie Fry Show YouTube live chat poll of the day is sponsored by Ruler Foods. Low prices, no coupons. Ruler Foods.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio. I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
You got your hands full, and I was looking back at the track record for President Biden. Here's what sticks out. The Afghanistan withdrawal was a mess. We failed to stop Putin from going into Ukraine. The war with Israel and Hamas has been absolutely dreadful and destructive. Again, it's the first time Iran has aimed at Israel. China's military buildup is substantial. And that was just this morning what I came up with. Can you argue that American strength and persuasion is better today than it was 4 years ago globally?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, 100% I can,
Where?
Bill, and I can do that very comfortably after serving for as long as I did in uniform. I'll tell you, this is a president who understands American leadership on the world stage. He has devoted additional resources, not just militarily, but diplomatically, economically, around the world to advance our national security interests.
You know, when we speak with Jim Carafano, he always says that this administration's policy on these foreign conflicts is watch what we do, not what we say. Because Joe Biden has been very conflicting in the words that they have used surrounding the support for Israel, the ironclad. I think that's what he said. Maybe it was this weekend. Repeated the word ironclad over and over again about the support that Israel can expect from the United States. But it sure doesn't feel that way. It sure doesn't seem that way, especially when these primaries roll around on a Tuesday and they happen to be in, Michigan, Wisconsin, Minnesota, some of these northern areas where there are large establishments of Palestinian people or people who sympathize with the Palestinian cause against Israel. They talk out of both sides of their mouths. Fox News reports a little bit earlier this morning, on Saturday, Iran launched an unprecedented aerial attack on Israel, firing 170 drones, more than 30 cruise missiles, and more than 120 ballistic missiles towards Israel. Out of the hundreds of launches, only, quote, a few crossed into Israel and caused minor damages, according to the IDF. President Biden reportedly called Netanyahu to congratulate him for fending off the attacks while also urging him not to retaliate against Iran and escalate tensions in the region. There was a leak of information that came out of the Biden administration. Marco Rubio commented on it.
Joe Biden telling Netanyahu, take the win, don't do anything. And then his people leaking it to the media, leaking it to the press. And what it sets up is they know that Israel's going to respond. They know this for a fact. So why would the White House leak it? There's only one reason they leaked that, and that is that so when Israel does respond, the White House can say, we told them not to do it, and at least somehow, in some way, appease these so-called peace activists, by the way, these ceasefire now people who were out yesterday cheering the launch of hundreds of rockets and drones and missiles against Israel. People that are out there cheering military attacks of this scale and scope are not peace activists. These are anti-Semites, anti-Israel, pro-terrorist elements out there.
So listen to what Marco Rubio is saying. We have heard about Joe Biden's ironclad support, ironclad alliance with Israel. Israel is taking on a ton of aggression in the form of actual ammunition being fired and targeted directly at Israel. And Joe Biden's people say, great job, good defense, well executed. Okay, stand still. Don't escalate. Why would it be that the Biden administration would want that information that Joe Biden was telling Israel not to respond? Why is it that that information would be leaked? And according to Marco Rubio there, leaked by the Biden administration. Because again, watch what the United States does and watch what they say. They are not the same thing. And that is intentional. because they believe that they're going to be able to send out one message to the people who they need to hear, message A, and another message out to the people they need to hear, message B. And it's all about votes. This is all about an election. It's all about playing politics. It's not about principle. You don't have a message A and a message B that are in direct conflict with one another when you're a principled individual, when you're a principled administration, when you're a principled campaign. It is absolutely an intentional political move by the Biden administration. And before you get ahead of me here, are they the only people to play politics? No. But the problem is that they only play politics. The problem is that they don't look at a situation and go, what is it the United States' responsibility in this matter is? What is the America interest in this responsibility? And then meet the occasion with words or action or both. And then you take the result of that and you politically position it to the United States of America and the people who pay for the existence of whatever said plan is and who vote for the people who make these decisions. You say, this is what we did. This is what is right. And now we are going to politically position it to you so that you understand it to be right the way we understood it to be right. Knowing full well that there are going to be some people who are in favor of it. There are going to be some people who are against it. That's the way the game goes. That's not what the Biden administration is trying to do. They're not trying to politically spin what they believe the right thing to be. They're taking their response and they're parting ways and they're trying to do one thing and say another so that everybody can be appeased at the end. And the truth of the matter is, if you were looking on the television or if you've seen any of the news alerts that have come across your phone or your email today, there are people protesting all over America right now in the streets, shutting down the Golden Gate Bridge, popping up all over New York City in defense of a Palestinian interest, which is not the American interest. They're shutting down the way of life in America for a ceasefire. They are saying horrible things about Israel. And if you look at what Joe Biden is doing, you'd say, well, he's been in pretty lockstep with Israel so far in his actions. But if you look at what he's saying, Israel, you need to calm down. Sit this next one out. We think that this is enough. You don't need to do anything. Says you. America is coming apart at the seams over an issue that is taking place overseas. And a lot of it has to do, in my opinion, with the fact that the Biden administration, the people who are making the executive decisions for the United States of America, have no principle. They are on sandy foundation. It is not a situation where you can look at them and say, I don't agree with them, but I understand why they're doing it. I don't even understand what they're doing. You think that the people in Israel think Netanyahu? Do you think the people who are looking at what is taking place in this conflict don't hear the words that Joe Biden is saying that are in direct conflict with the actions? He's pissing everybody off everywhere. And his message, his foreign policy message of don't. Do you know why? Do you know why that is so patently offensive? Do you know why him saying don't is so disgusting? Because he's just saying it. He wants credit for saying it, as if it's a participation grade. I showed up, I said don't, and then whatever happens, happens. You're not filling out the 10-page social studies assignment because it's a participation grade, and if you have 10 answers on the page and you hand it in, you get 10 points for the day because you tried. He's writing in all 10 words, don't. And he's considering the fact that he showed up to say it enough. But America isn't accepting it. I doubt the foreign policy, the people who are in our direct contacts in all the different places through foreign policy in these other countries and other allies, they're not buying it. And then they leak out this kind of crap that they're telling, just so everybody knows, we're being real strong with Israel. We're telling them this is what and again, to Rubio's point, Joe Biden and America know that Israel isn't going to go, all right, America, because you said so, we'll sit this next one out. They're not going to do that. Have you listened to Netanyahu? I mean, again, here's a man who seems to be principled, that people agree with and disagree with. Some love what he does, some don't like what he does. But he has a direction. He has a focus. there's a video going around right now on, I saw it on X. I think it came off of TikTok. And it's of an Iranian woman who is pleading with people to separate the Islamic Guard. Who are the people in charge of Iran? I can't remember what the name is. But she's saying the people who are in charge of Iran are not the same as the Iranian people. And I have seen with my own eyes people protesting in Iran over the last years saying that they want peace. And knowing that the people of Iran who want peace and the government who is motivated by these terroristic activities and being enriched by the American government, that there are uncommon interests, that the people want something different than the government wants. And what apparently what the Islamic leadership structure is doing is in stark contrast to what the people of Iran are asking for. And if you look at what the Iranian government is doing to the people there, it's incredibly violent, murderous, and problematic to the idea that somehow or another Iran is just an equal party with a different interest than potentially what is going on in Israel. And then you look at that's going on over there. There's a lot of conflicts going on in the world. There are a lot of people who disagree about a lot of things taking place in the world right now. Why does America need to be looking around the corner to see what's going on? I know that my tax dollars have been sent there. Or maybe they weren't. Maybe they were Joe Biden and Hunter Biden's pallets of cash that were left behind when Joe Biden was vice president. The appeasement that the Biden administration has had, the softness that Joe Biden administration has had towards Iran has led to this moment. They are not disconnected. And while the intention of what the Biden administration wants to see, like what is the outcome that they're shooting for? What is the desired goal? I would like to know that from the Biden administration because I don't know that there is one. I think that they're looking at what the voters want to hear and see and react to in the moment is, we should probably soften our tone with our relationship with Israel and just leave the door cracked for people to think that maybe we're not just for the Israeli nation or for the Jewish people. We should broaden that. That door has been kicked in and kicked down, and now he doesn't know what to do about it. And he's just got to figure it out up until November. They just got to get past November. What do you think Joe Biden thinks when he walks into the room with the television and sees one of the news channels covering these pro-Palestinian protests taking place and shutting down major United States cities? What do you think that he thinks when he sees that? Is that what success looks like for the Biden administration? I don't know. I can't imagine it is, but what's he going to say about it? Is he going to tell them, all right, you've made your point, now calm down, you don't need to retaliate, go back to your houses and take your watermelon balloons, which we had to look up in the commercial break there. I didn't know this. Watermelons are a symbol of Palestinian solidarity. This is something new. According to, I think it's NPR here, in response to the ongoing war and the different debates around it, people are using watermelon images to communicate solidarity with the Palestinians because the fruit's colors match the Palestinian flag. So I learned something today, and maybe I'm the last one to know that, but I did not know that. Is this the outcome Joe Biden wanted? Is this gaining him votes? If it's not, you sure as heck know he's going to do something in reaction to it that he thinks is going to help him gain votes. But it seems to me like he shows up and sees something like that and breaks something new every time he tries to step in it. The YouTube live chat poll for today: has Joe Biden done anything that is a net good in his presidency, yes or no? Come vote and leave your comments and tell us what you think. Elaine said, I voted no because it costs so much for food and gas when you have to decide to eat or pay bills since payroll hasn't gone up for cost of living. Josh said, yes, Ukraine aid, the CHIP Act, infrastructure bill, continued pressure on China, revitalizing the Philippines treaties, strengthening Taiwan. Edward says, all right, come on. Who can say the CHIPS Act isn't a net good? Brad talked about that a little bit. Like on the surface, a lot of these things are good, which is why when I ask the question, I want to make sure it's a net good. Was the policy good, and was he able to see it come to fruition? David said, I voted no. Obama's third term isn't any better than the first two. And last one here from X. You can stream us. You follow at Annie Fry Show. Would love to have you there. Husker Boy said he made ice cream popular. To which I say, yeah, like ice cream needed help. Here we are. Chocolate chip, I think, is his ice cream of choice. Go vote and tell us what you think. Has Joe Biden done anything that is a net good in his presidency, yes or no? We want to see your reactions and hear what you have to say about it along with your votes. We'll keep following him. Stick around. We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
Let me take your order, jot it down. You ain't never been like me.
Stuart's American Mortgage is the home of the bagel loan, and he is a phone call or a text message away. 314-324-4440. That's 314-324-4440. Stewie's your guy. When it comes to securing the mortgage for the home you're looking to purchase, he's going to save you thousands because you don't have to pay closing costs. When you go to get that mortgage and you're at closing and it's super exciting, you're about to get the keys, you've negotiated the price, and then those closing costs come in and you got to hand over that big check that involves all of, oh, nope, don't have to do that. Thousands of dollars that stay in your pocket. Maybe you added it onto the offer so you could secure the house in a hot bidding market. Stewie is there to guide you through that process. I've even heard him talk, and he's said to me before, because I've done 2 bagel loan refinances myself. I've reached back out to him and said, hey, my rate could maybe go down, or maybe I'm looking to take some money out of my house. And he'll tell me, no, now is not the right time for you, Annie. He's honest. He's going to shoot it straight with you. And he is the best with the bagel loan in the business. Nobody else does the bagel loan. It's only Stewie. And he's, like I said, a phone call or a text message away. 314-324-4440. 314-324-4440. You can Google bagel loan as well to find out more. NMLS number 226715.
Baseball is back, basketball is heating up, and the NFL Draft is right around the corner. Listen to the latest on the teams you love with the free Odyssey app. The biggest sports radio stations in the country, providing unrivaled local coverage of their teams, all in one place. Exclusive interviews with players, coaches, and team executives, streaming live and always available on demand. Stay in the know with your favorite teams with Odyssey, AUDACY. Download the free Odyssey app today.
This time of year again, where we all should be, we should all be calling our companies and making sure our air conditioners are in running order, and do the best you can to make sure that they don't break down this summer. It's only $89 if you call us to have us do it. But let's just say that you've had that done and a company says you need a new system. Sucks, but without a question, you get another opinion. Get another price. I can promise you, without a question, if you call me for a second opinion based on what my customers say for the second opinion, you'll be happy you did. Call me. It's Bart Inman. One easy number, Missouri and Illinois. 314-293-2600. Missouri and Illinois. Or on the internet, bartinman.com. Now that's Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been injured in a truck accident, you need the best, Onder Law. Let us make your case our cause. Truck accident? Call Onder Law for a free review at 314 or 618-9000000.
Hey, it's Bo Matthews for Beast Plumbing, your new plumber. Whether it's plumbing, water heaters, clogged drains, or water treatment like water filtration and water softeners, call on the best. That's Beast Plumbing, 314-500-LEAK. That's 314-500-LEAK.
Surprise! Surprise! You know, surprise parties, they can be fun, right? Well, financial surprises, not so much, especially when you're retired, like finding out you owe more in taxes than you thought you would, or having to go back to work to make ends meet. Maybe you think you'll be okay, but why not double check just to be sure? Call Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions and schedule a retirement double check. Marvin and his team have been helping families plan for retirement for more than 15 years. Call 314-373-1598 to schedule your retirement double check with Marvin Mitchell at Compass Retirement Solutions. That's 314-373-1598. Don't let a financial surprise derail your retirement dreams. Give Marvin and the team a call, 314-373-1598. Firm offers insurance services, investments, and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and in Illinois.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gsLHonorFlight.org. And for heating services, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Odyssey is your home for all the audio that matters to you. Download the Odyssey app today to listen to 97.1 FM Talk, even when you don't have a radio. Always streaming at 971talk.com. You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
My sweet Lord, my Lord, my Lord, I really want to see you, really want to be with you, really want to see you, Lord, but it takes so long, my Lord.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. We're watching as some of these protesters are taking over the Golden Gate Bridge. That was the first one I think that we saw, and then it started materializing in New York City as well. And they've put up a map, and it seems as though there are variations of these protests taking place across the country right now. First, Brad, what's your initial reaction when you see these protesters?
You're not winning me over to your cause by inconveniencing me, is my initial reaction. If you want to win people over, I don't see how irritating somebody, like if you're on that bridge for whatever reason, you're crossing the Golden Gate Bridge. It's a very important bridge because if you don't, you have to go around San Francisco Bay. That's a really long drive. So you get caught in traffic. You're on your way to something important. These people are
So
like,
you saw O'Hare. They had that show.
Yeah,
and people
O'Hare.
are like, I guess they're in Ubers, or either they're just leaving their cars on the highway.
yeah, and they're just getting out of their vehicles
With their
suitcases, trying to make their flight. I don't understand the mindset that says you have to pay attention to me, and if you don't pay attention to me, I'm going to make things really inconvenient. It's like you're trying to hold people hostage, and that to me doesn't win people over to your cause. And I know I've heard people say, hey, you've got to make people uncomfortable so they understand. No, they'll understand, but if you make them uncomfortable and they haven't been on either side of that issue, their initial reaction to your cause and you and everything that you do is going to be negative.
What about the thought, though, the response to that? I don't know that they're trying to change the opinion of the person driving the Chevy Cruze. They're trying to get the attention of the people who can, like we talked about with that woman before, going in front of the Brookfield City Council going, ceasefire now. Like, who the hell do you think these people are? And what do you think the Brookfield City Council resolution is going to do to influence a ceasefire on Israel's part against Hamas? Like, okay, honestly. But if you're shutting down the Golden Gate Bridge, are you doing that to make sure that San Francisco is in solidarity? Or is it bigger than that?
But I don't understand what the thing is. Is it just eyes on you because you shut down the San Francisco Bridge?
Attention to a cause that certainly a lot of people were willing to coordinate today.
Yeah, it's attention, but is it the right kind of attention? I know they say there's no such thing as bad media, but I don't know. I don't see how this publicity makes you look anything more than petulant and whiny.
What if people who were pro-life did this?
Wouldn't support it. Wouldn't be behind it. You don't win people over by inconveniencing them. That's why I don't support the pro-life protesters that go out there and scream at these women going into abortion clinics. That doesn't accomplish the goal that you're trying to accomplish. It creates a negative stigma surrounding the cause that you're trying to support or champion.
But even that is more of a message being sent from person A to person B. This is captivating the country's attention right now. And to me, this is using the American people and the way of life that we have established, the orderly way of life. It's using those people as a means to an end to get the attention of somebody higher. I mean, to me, they're demanding a response from the president of the United States, essentially, because who other than the president of the United States can effectively influence foreign policy and pressure the outcome that they want, which is a ceasefire or a Palestinian state, a two-state solution. Like John Smith in the Ford Ranger isn't going to be able to get this done for you. And he's going to miss his job that day. He's going to maybe not be able to get to his mom's to help his mom that day. But when you shut it down and the news turns all their cameras to it, which they have to, it's a major story, it escalates to an attention level above, just the peons like you and me who are trying to just go about our day.
Yeah, but the people that put the person in charge that you need to change that, those are the people that you're inconveniencing are the ones that put that person in charge. And so, again, if you make people go against your cause, you might get a short-term victory where Biden says, okay, I'm going to demand ceasefire and blah, blah, blah. But in the end, Biden's got a couple more months left, and if everybody else is hacked off at you and they don't like what Biden does in that, Biden's out of a job and the next guy's in.
Which is why, and I appreciate you saying that, I said in the last segment, Biden's going to have to respond. And what he responds is going to be for the right now. And he doesn't care that it's not for the future makeup. We're going to redraw the lines in the Middle East over what these protesters in the Golden Gate Bridge in San Francisco tried to articulate to the world, let alone our nation. If Biden feels politically threatened by this, he will respond. And I, for one, am very interested in what he'll have to say. And I'm sure that the rest of the world will be looking to say, what are you going to say? And if he says the wrong thing, what is the side that believes that he said the wrong thing going to do about it? Because that goes both ways as well.
Mm-hmm.
I don't really know how this ends, and I think that the administration has gotten himself into a pickle because they've tried to appease politically. I don't think that they have a principled take. I'm looking forward to talking to Jim Carafano tomorrow on this issue. Here's a principled man, Senator Fetterman.
Well, a couple of things, actually. I think it really demonstrates how it's astonishing that we are not standing firmly with Israel, and there should never be any kinds of conditions on all that. When a nation can launch hundreds of drones towards Israel, and I'm not going to be talking about conditions ever. And second, I think that also was Iran had to have some fireworks after Israel smoked that Iranian general, and I'm here for that. And I think it's just a matter of theater, part of it as well too. And finally, it demonstrates how unstable things are and why we need to lean in and stand with Israel.
One of the strangest developments in American politics over the last 2 years has been the evolution of John Fetterman. And, I would say that he sounds coherent. You can understand what he's saying. Like, he has a point, and he's delivering his point today more than he ever could when he was being elected. That is just so bizarre. The fact that he was able to get elected in Pennsylvania under the circumstances in the position in his recovery. But his positions are unique to Fetterman. And the only way you get to be in Washington, D.C. and have your own unique positions is if you're thinking for yourself. And to think that we're looking at the Senate and going, well, who's doing the thinking for themselves? And the answer is John Fetterman. Who saw that coming? Probably Ethan. Ethan, come in here. Ethan probably saw that coming. I forgot we were going to talk about this. Because Ethan did something pretty magnificent. And when it comes to calling your shots, so to speak, Ethan was very successful in doing that in the March Madness bracket. So first, Ethan, tell me about Senator Fetterman. Your thoughts.
Yes. Thank you all for coming to my talk show today. Appreciate it.
Your Ethan talk?
That's about all I got on that.
I'm glad you brought this up in a break because I think I understand the magnitude of this, but I'm not 100% sure I understand the full magnitude of this. You participated, and I'm very grateful for it, in my son's 14U baseball team March Madness bracket.
This is correct.
This is the first time you've ever played. Did you do his last year?
Mm-mm.
So we do a bracket challenge. It's a pool. You put money in. We pay out half of it to first, second, and third place. And it's all on Yahoo. And you won the pool.
I won the pool.
And what'd you win? $94?
I think so.
Something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
But it wasn't just that. You did pretty well overall in the bracket challenge, I would say.
I did okay.
You picked all Final Four teams?
Uh-huh.
Who'd you have in the championship?
UConn and Purdue.
Who'd you have winning?
UConn.
Comparative to all of the people in the Yahoo Bracket Challenge, how did you do?
I finished second in the nation.
Second? Second?
Yeah.
In all the people?
And all the people.
So when you fill out the bracket on Yahoo, you fill it out, and then you can just say, yeah, add my bracket to the tournament challenge or whatever it is. Is that what you did?
Mm-hmm.
How many brackets did you fill out this year?
On Yahoo?
Total.
Well, I did one on ESPN. I did one on March Madness. So 3.
How'd you do in the other 2?
They were my Yahoo one was the best one. All of my brackets,
I hope so.
no kidding. All of my brackets were pretty similar. I had one main difference in my other 2. I had UConn beating Kansas in the final because UConn. I expected those 2 to match up. I think in the Sweet 16. They didn't. KU lost. Maybe it was the Elite 8. They ended up not meeting. KU lost pretty early.
Yeah.
And in the Yahoo one, I picked Purdue to win that matchup, so I had them going all the way to the national championship. So that was the biggest difference. So I didn't do as well because of that on ESPN and the March Madness app. I still was in the top 99.6 percentile on both of them.
So
I still did all right.
Do you know how many brackets? Did you ever look at how many total brackets are in the Yahoo challenge?
I did not. I saw the lead because there's a leaderboard that shows the top 50, and I knew at one point, I think it was it was either after the Sweet 16 or the Elite 8. I was like, man, I got to be getting close. I'm doing really well, and I finally popped up on it. I just kind of kept climbing and climbing, but I do not know how many people.
Were you tied for second with people?
I was tied for third going into the Final Four, and based off of who I was tied with and who was ahead of me, I knew that the best I could do was second place.
Yeah.
And after the national championship, they have a tiebreaker based on your score. And my score was the closest, so I was outright second place.
You were outright second place.
Yeah.
Now, first place pays out what?
$25,000.
Second place pays out what?
$94 if you include what I won in our group.
From the Edwardsville Red Wings 14U baseball team.
Yeah, nothing. They paid out.
How many points did you get second place by?
Like, what was the difference?
They score per round. You get a certain amount of points per pick that you get correct. How many points were you in second place by?
First place scored 174 points in total. I scored 171.
Oh my
That's
God.
so good.
I have a question for you.
Yeah.
And I will judge you hardcore for this.
All right.
If you would have gotten first place in the Yahoo one, I assume you would have still gotten first place in ours. Would you have donated the $94 back out of your $25,000 winning? Yeah, that's
probably. I would assume that I would have.
I mean, I'd be looking at my student loan debts, my credit card debts, my car debts, and been like, okay, here's what I can part with.
Oh, that's exactly what I was. Even at finishing second, I was like, man, I would have been able to do this.
Yes.
I would have been able to do this, and yeah. So it stings a little bit.
We have these conversations on the show too about like when the lottery is huge. You buy a ticket, you feel a little closer to making it big when you have the lottery ticket before the drawing happens, and you obviously lose. But you were really close. Like like Sheila Jackson Lee says, you almost got too close to the sun.
It's pretty cool. I mean, like I said, the first time that I saw it, I was like, whoa,
yeah,
I'm doing really good. And it's funny because my brother-in-law to be here in a couple of months is a basketball guru. Lives and breathes it, knows way more than me. And this is, I would say, the year that I've watched the least basketball in probably 7 or 8 years. I mean, I like college basketball. It's fun to watch, and I just have not watched it this year. So it's pretty ironic that this year of all years, I do as good as I have. And there were multiple times going into games where my brother-in-law to be was it's not going to happen, man. That pick is just not going to work. And it just continued to work.
How smart did you feel for that time? Did you just feel like you could walk into a grocery store and you're like, I'm smarter than you people? You go to the gas pump and you're like, I'm smarter than you, smarter than you, smarter than you.
I'm not gonna lie. I was really proud of picking North Carolina State, an 11 seed, to go to the Final Four. I was really proud of that.
Was that a researched, studied decision?
No, it was pure luck. I'll tell you what that came from. It came to coming home one day and going into our movie room and turning on YouTube TV, and oh look, the ACC tournament semifinals on, and North Carolina State is playing Duke, and it was the last 5 minutes of the game, and North Carolina State won. And it was checking the next day and seeing that they beat North Carolina in the ACC championship. It was a team that was like the 10 seed in the conference.
With the team that was hot.
And they caught fire. So I was like, I'm rolling with them. Why not? Screw it. Because like part of making a bracket is like, you never actually think you're gonna go that far. It's being fun and being different.
You get to enjoy the hopefulness.
Right. And it's boring picking 4 1 seeds. It's boring. So having, I think, a healthy mix of upset picks as well as realistic ones is, I think, important in picking a bracket. That's kind of what I went with, and it worked really well. Well, it didn't really pay out. I mean, $94, but I mean, like, it didn't pay out.
Hey, we should have got more people in the pool.
Be better next year.
Yes, we will try. Well, and that's the other thing too. I've won pools before and won like about $100 or something like that. And I was probably your age too when it happened. And for me at that time, it was like money. You get $100 and it's like $100 unexpected dollars. I can use this.
Hey, I just bought a new car, so best believe that $100 is going right to that.
But you do well one time and you're like, I cannot wait for the next time. And then the next year it's like takes you the first 48 hours, you're like, this sucks.
Oh,
I hate this. I'm never doing it.
There is a 100% chance that I'm going to be extremely disappointed next year with my bracket. I've already I've set myself up for disappointment, knowing that like there's no way that with how well this has gone, that it's ever going to be anywhere close to this.
Well, we appreciate your support on the Red Wings, and I'm so happy that we were able to recognize your greatness in the Edwardsville Red Wings 14U.
Anything for the Fry family.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, we will get your responses. Has Joe Biden done anything that is a net good in his presidency? Brad's a no. I'm a no. Ryan's a yes. We'll see what you have to say when we come back. Don't go away. The Retirement Advisory Group, you know them as Thomas Helbig, Bob Kershaw, and Tammy Kershaw, great friends and supporters, sponsors of this show. We are very big fans of theirs as well because 97.1 listeners have been connecting with the Retirement Advisory Group for years and years to make sure that that transition from working into retirement is a smooth one, to make sure that you are in a position to have this anxiety-free entrance into retirement. It's important that you understand the way that Thomas Helbig sets everything up for you, which is no pressure. When you call 314-993-9494, that's 314-993-9494, you get to set up a free meeting with them. So you get to sit down and talk to them, tell them about you, listen how they can help you, and then you have no obligation to do anything after that. It's that simple. You can just learn if you so choose. If you do want to sign up with them, you'll join so many other Annie Fry Show listeners and 97.1 listeners who have partnered with them to get into that worry-free retirement. Let the Retirement Advisory Group provide you a personalized, structured income plan. The fear that you have is of the unknown. Find out what you can know, find out what you can do with the Retirement Advisory Group so that you don't have to fear what you don't know, because now you'll be in the know. 314-993-9494, online at retirementkey.com.
Are you ready to smell better naked? I'm Dr. Shannon Klingman, the OBGYN creator of Lumi, the whole body deodorant that's clinically proven to control odor for 72 hours on pits, feet, privates, and beyond. It's pH optimized to safely and effectively control odor anywhere you have it, but wish you didn't. Plus, it's proven to work better than a shower with soap alone. Whether you shower twice a day or 3 times a week, Lumi works better. And who doesn't want zero body odor? With over 200,000 5-star reviews, I'm so sure you're going to love it, or you can return it for free.
There's a special offer for listeners. Use code 500 and get 15% off your first purchase with code 500, like the Lumi Starter Pack, Acidified Body Wash, or new Lumi Plus Sweat Control. That's LUME deodorant.com, code 500 for 15% off your first purchase. Love it or return it for free. That's LUME deodorant.com, code 500 to save 15% today.
AMCO presents Bet You Didn't Know.
Bet you didn't know that your car's transmission is made up of 800 pieces. Also, bet you didn't know that AMCO's fixed over 40 million transmissions, and that AMCO offers a nationwide warranty.
AMCO offers easy payment plan options for most any credit situation, so you can fix it fast and pay it off slow at AMCO.
That's AMCO, AA, MCO.
More good news for Frederick Roofing, voted best roofing company by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, Frederick Roofing.
314-645-2000.
Diamonds Direct's spring sale is here. Shop now and get an extra 20% off Diamonds Direct's renowned prices. It's the best sale of the season. Plus, book an appointment and get an additional $100 off. That's 20% off plus $100 off store-wide. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, engagement rings, and more. And enjoy an expanded selection with designer appearances each weekend. 20% off now to April 21st. And open Sundays. Details at diamondsdirect.com.
This is a special alert to all Americans who own a vehicle with less than 200,000 miles with an auto warranty about to expire or with no warranty coverage at all. Due to a decline in the economy, CarShield is announcing a low-cost month-to-month vehicle protection plan that is now available to the public to save any driver out-of-pocket expenses on future auto repairs. Call now to find out how you can pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. Yes, you heard that correctly. Pay almost nothing for covered auto repairs. An open phone line has been established for all drivers to call for a free quick quote. Call 800-652-5241 now. Drivers who are covered will not have to pay for covered repairs again. This protection plan is at an all-time low. Additionally, drivers who activate this vehicle protection today will also receive free roadside assistance, free towing, and car rental options at no additional cost. Call us for your free quick quote today. 800-652-5241. That's 800-652-5241. What do you have to lose? Call 800-652-5241. Again, 800-652-5241.
Hi, I'm Jim Brennan with McKelvey Homes. This may be your last chance to get the new carefree villa home of your dreams at the Preserve in Afton. Our homes offer a lifestyle of convenience and relaxation without the burdens of lawn, landscaping, and snow removal. The Preserve is conveniently located at Watson and McKenzie Road with sales prices starting in the 480s. We will build to order or select from one of our 7 move-in ready homes at substantial savings and special financing in the 4s. Hurry, these deals won't last. Visit McKelveyHomes.com.
This is the Annie Fry YouTube live chat poll. Has Joe Biden done anything that is a net good in his presidency? Yes or no? Of course, this is one where you want to leave a comment as to why you're voting what you're voting. It is 2:49. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Good Monday afternoon. We get rolling here at 3 o'clock after Fox News. Former State Rep David Gregory is going to be in studio. He's suing Sam Page in St. Louis County. We'll explain that. Also, what is going on with Israel and Iran. Former Senator Talent will join us at 3:45.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
What is your message to Iran in this moment?
Don't.
Okay, then they did. So that was a short story. Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. We're glad that you're here with us this afternoon. In the 1 o'clock hour, we spoke with Steve Moore a little bit about tax day, and that's today. I hope I'm not the first person to tell you that. It is April 15th, and that is the D-Day for the tax filing that most of us need to adhere to. So Steve Moore was talking to us a little bit about that. And of course, he brought up the flat tax. He's a fan of it. I'm a fan of it. I think many of you would be fans of it. And we also talked to Mike Davis. And, while there have been protesters taking over the streets of the United States today in support of a Palestinian state or a ceasefire, there's also a Trump trial that started today. And it's kind of crazy that it's not the lead story here. Donald Trump and that hush money trial in New York City. I forgot about this until last week. I don't remember which person we were talking to about it, but the Alvin Bragg Manhattan hush money trial with Stormy Daniels and all of this, the 34 felony counts. We have our favorite people, and yeah, I'm talking to you. You're watching right now, and we're glad that you're there and you're commenting on a regular basis. And everyone wants to remind us 91 felonies, 91 felonies, 91 felonies. Charges. 91 charges. I have heard of people being charged of things they weren't guilty of before. I've heard of that. I don't know that I've heard of it in Donald Trump's case yet, but I've heard of it. So I just hope that if he is in this process or through the appeal process, acquitted, exonerated, whatever it is, that at least we do the math and subtract the 34 felonies that Alvin Bragg manifested out of his cauldron in trying to change over the misdemeanor crimes that had gone past the statute of limitations to fabricate them into the charges that he has right now to make them felonies. I mean, when these initial charges dropped, do you guys remember how everyone was like, everyone, even the people on CNN are like, this is embarrassing. MSNBC was like, not a chance. But here we are. And we are on I think this is the intent. This is the purpose of this, because it wasn't about this trial. It was about this trial in the context of giving people who read the morning talking points, just whatever you do today, remember there have been 91 felony charges. And it's enough. Because all that matters is the election. I mean, these people are completely and totally invested only in November 5th, Election Day. They don't care about anything else.
Yeah, and this one's really interesting, too, because, like you said, there's 34 charges, but it's a misdemeanor in New York that has expired based on the statute of limitations that they revived, and then they bootstrapped it to some sort of federal law that we're not really sure that they have jurisdiction to, and the DOJ, the Biden DOJ, looked at this and said, no, there's no there, and passed on it. It's like, yeah, this one's a big joke, and he's probably going to get convicted because there's no way he's going to get a fair trial with a fair jury.
But the stupid foul ball of the legal system, the appeal. It's the bottom of the ninth. It's a 3-2 count. Bases are loaded. The game is on the line. Foul ball. Then you just got to do it again, and it's more intense. The appeal will go through. The question will be, will it go through before we get to the election? And if we get to the election, will it even matter? There's a lot at stake. The YouTube live chat poll, has Joe Biden done anything that is a net good in his presidency? Ryan, your answer?
Yes, I said yes. He's just because he's trying to do I mentioned the chip thing. I'll go with the chip thing. That he's trying to bring the chips back to onshore these things in America. The way he's doing it, I don't know if I love it, but at least he's trying to bring that back.
Like every other Biden endorsement that I've ever heard. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's the best I can find, too.
Brad?
I'm a no, because I disagree with Ryan on the chips thing. The chips thing has blown up in his face. He hasn't actually brought stuff back.
Because it almost sounds like he just wanted the pub of saying he was doing it so that he could be saying he was trying.
It's very true. But I like that they are trying. They are over-regulating it. So, like you said, Brad, the regulations that they've added to even lithium mining here have just been ridiculous.
I guess my question is what's the net good then at that point?
Yeah, I know. It's tough. So I'm going to say 51% yes, I like the fact that they're moving in that direction.
I'm still a no. I can't think of anything.
I'm a no. Shouldn't it be easier than this to come up with a thing?
You would think.
One thing.
Chris says no, everything he touched turned to crap. Saying it nicely. No surprise to some of us. JB said he is good at keeping his competition in bogus courts. Price said no, yes, if you hate America. Ryan.
Well, I mean, yeah.
Eagle said, I voted no. Russell said, I chose no. Can't think of one thing that's helped me or my family. I think that's a very good way of looking at it. David said, Joe Blunder. Oh, I love the nicknames. That was me. Couldn't do something right if he fell on it and had something right printing all over it. Frank said, I
Fell
can
off his
say
bike.
with all honesty that I cannot think of one single good thing the man has done. And Steve said, I'm voting yes. G.I. Joe is the biggest joke in the entire world. I don't think we have the same goals. I went to the YouTube Live, which you can vote in each and every day here on the Annie Fry YouTube channel, where we broadcast live and you can vote. Like today, we had over 250 votes today, which is higher than traditional poll. Has Joe Biden done anything that is a net good in his presidency? Along with Ryan Wiggins, 11% of you said yes.
Oh, hey, all right.
89% of you said no. And honestly, 1 out of 10 is... I'm happy that 10% of you are listening to this show that maybe could find something else to do at this time. I tried, man. I could think of things that are half good, but they are half bad as well. Mark Reardon Show coming up on 97.1 next.
Are you the decision maker in your company? Consider this. For the first time in decades, there's a better option for a corporate card and spend management platform. Meet Ramp, the only corporate card and spend management system designed to help you spend less money so you can make more. Most corporate credit cards offer points as incentives, but those points amount to less than their worth in real cash value. Ramp's corporate cards offer you cash back, real money in your pocket. Plus, you control who spends what with each vendor, and Ramp software collects and verifies receipts automatically, which means you'll stop wasteful spending and close your books in hours instead of days. Businesses that use Ramp add up to 5% to their bottom line the first year. If you're a decision maker, adding Ramp could be one of the best decisions you've ever made. And now, get $250 when you join Ramp. Just go to ramp.com/free. Ramp.com/free. RAMP.com/free.
Cards issued by Sutton Bank and Celtic Bank, members of FDIC. Terms and conditions apply.
A rapid rental renovations with Sean and Kristen can help you if you have rental houses or properties in two different ways. One is the way that I'm going to meet with them tomorrow morning about. That is to see what they can do for the rehab that I just bought. Because, I mean, we need some serious stuff at this place. It needs a roof. It needs carpet. It needs its walls painted. We actually need to add a room in the basement. They're going to give me bids on all of those things. And I'm going to walk away from that going, okay, I think I want to do this and this and maybe not this. But that's what Sean and Kristen do, is help you in those situations. Here's the other one. If you have tenants that have moved out of a location, they've left it in less than desirable taste. You know, you want to just spruce it up a little bit, or you want to go big and you're like, yeah, we need all these carpets out. We need new floors. All of that stuff Sean and Kristen can do.